724-439-9200.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
The search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is about to resume.
Malaysia's Transport Minister Anthony Loki announced the U.S.-based deep-sea robotics firm Ocean Infinity will pick up the hunt on December 30th.
In a new area estimated at 15,000 square kilometers in the southern Indian Ocean.
The search was halted in April due to bad weather. The Boeing 777 with 239 people aboard disappeared on March 8, 2014, while flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Malaysia will pay Ocean Infinity $70 million for the search, but only if it finds wreckage of the plane. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A new survey finds more Americans believe both the Democratic and Republican parties and their supporters have gone too far in using inflammatory language to criticize their opponents. The Gallup poll found 69% now feel that way, and that's up 15 percentage points from 2011. The poll was conducted shortly after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
The award-winning local, district, and statewide news is brought to you by Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon, 4500 PA 51. And now the news.
And good evening on this Wednesday, 5:05. I'm Nick Barczyk from the Davis & Davis Studios. Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, voted Fayette County's best law firm 2025. Good evening, Doug. Your local station, WMBS, 28 degrees under cloudy skies. Sports and weather on the way in just a bit. A few school delays already in for tomorrow, Thursday, December 4th. The Laurel Highlands School District under a 2-hour delay. Same goes for the St. John Evangelist School of Uniontown. They'll be on a 2-hour delay schedule. Again, that's LH and St. John of Fayette County under 2-hour delays for Thursday. Police in Washington said a search warrant was executed at the Washington Community Club this week, and investigators are now reviewing video surveillance footage. The City of Washington police force hope that the recovered evidence will shed further light on the events that took place and lead to the identification and arrest of those responsible for this violent incident. That's what the police chief said in a statement. A man was shot multiple times outside the club in late November and taken to an Allegheny County medical facility with non-life-threatening injuries. The police are asking anyone who has additional information to contact them. Shredded cheese sold in Pennsylvania is being recalled. The FDA says more than 1.5 million bags of shredded cheeses produced by Great Lakes Cheese Company may contain metal fragments. The cheese was sold at Walmart stores as the Great Value brand. Target is the Good and Garther brand. Aldi is the Happy Farms brand, and at other stores in the region, the products have sell-by dates which range from January 2026 to March of 2026. To find out more details on the recalled items, visit fda.gov. American Eagle is raising its sales estimates for the year after quarterly results that beat expectations. The Southwest Pennsylvania-based clothing store and company says it expects fourth quarter sales to grow from 8 to 9%, 4 times better than what was originally anticipated. Shares jumped 15% in extended trading yesterday, with the company giving some credit to ad campaigns featuring celebrities Sydney Sweeney and Travis Kelce. More next on WMBS.
Is it time for your first home? Or time to trade up to a home that fits your lifestyle? It's time to visit Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon. You'll find special savings along with trade-in and trade-up deals. Imagine beautiful, new, energy-efficient homes packed with the features you've been dreaming about. Trade in and trade up at Clayton Homes of Belle Vernon, 4500 PA 51. Trade-in value toward purchase of a new home determined by resale value and evaluation by home center manager. Additional deposit may be required.
Seton Hill University is looking to develop an indoor athletic facility at its Greensburg campus. The university says it is looking to build an 87,000 square foot indoor athletic facility on a plot of land which overlooks the Griffin softball field. The facility would include an indoor track, a turf field, and more. If funding and plans are approved, construction could begin as early as February. And in sports, no action tonight, but we will bring you high school basketball tomorrow. See Arparado Group High School Sports Night Thursday. Sprouse Insurance Group pregame at 6:40. Tip-off at 7:30 as Uniontown takes on Thomas Jefferson. The Jags host the Red Raiders, a makeup of a postponement yesterday. That's on the radio and video. Last night we brought you a Chartiers Valley win over Laurel Highlands. The Mustangs will be back in action Friday against York at Ligonier Valley. Pregame at 5 in the game at 5:30 on WMBS. And the Steelers getting ready for their big game against the Ravens with Aaron Rodgers still banged up and most likely going to start at quarterback. Steelers-Ravens for first in the AFC North Sunday at 1 o'clock on WMBS. And the Penguins are back in action tomorrow against the Lightning in Tampa. We'll bring you that game after the high school basketball. Now the weather watch for all of southwest Pennsylvania. 28 degrees right now. High today was just 31 with the overnight low down to 26. Some snow flurries expected into Thursday with the high at freezing 32, overnight low bitterly cold down to 15 above Thursday night. Friday at 36, warming back up to 40 Saturday, 37 Sunday for the high. Sunny skies Monday at 32 and 37 on Tuesday. Right now cloudy, and we are at 28 degrees at 5:10 on a Wednesday afternoon. And good day from the Davis & Davis studios at WMBS. I'm Nick Barczyk. On the way next, it's the Stog Report, then hour one of a 3-hour afternoon drive show with Doug Saltzman. He's graced us with his presence here in the studio. Not presents like Christmas gifts, but just he's here with nothing else for anyone except his witty observations and interviews. That's next on WMBS.
The local, district, and statewide news was brought to you by Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51.
Good evening. This is Angie Danko of Janney Montgomery Scott here in Uniontown, bringing you today's closing stock market report. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 408.4 points, closing at 47,883. The Nasdaq Composite was up 40.4 points, closing at 23,454. And the S&P 500 Index was up 20.6 points, closing at 6,850. Among companies of local interest, Apple closed at $284.15, down $2.04. Amazon, $232.38, down $2.04. Cisco, $77.75, up 88 cents. Boeing closed at $202.49, down $2.89. Caterpillar, $591.61, up $9.14. Disney, $105.73, up 90 cents. ExxonMobil, $117.82, up $2.44. First Energy closed at $45.23, down 43 cents. Johnson & Johnson, $205.39, down 3 cents. Home Depot, $358.10, up $4.07. Intel, $43.76, up 29 cents. McDonald's, $307.82, up $7.10. Meta Platforms closed at $639.60, down $7.50. PNC Financial Services, $198.05, up $6. Raytheon Technologies, $168.45, down 35 cents. Rockwell Automation, $400.67, up $9.47. Tesla, $446.74, up $17.50. Verizon, $40.70, up 9 cents. And Walmart closed at $114.45, up $2.04. Recapping, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 408.4 points, closing at 47,883. The Nasdaq Composite was up 40.4 points, closing at 23,454. And the S&P 500 Index was up 20.6 points, closing at 6,850. From the Uniontown office of Janney Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSIPC, where we serve all of your investment needs. So this is Angie.
It's a new day at WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital, and we're bringing a new level of quality health care to our community. From primary care to specialty services, our team has always put patients first. And now, thanks to our merger with WVU Medicine, our commitment to patient-centered care has grown even stronger. With new resources, a growing staff, and advanced technology, our team is here to provide you with top quality care when it matters most. Discover the new Uniontown Hospital and see how we've grown.
Zen's Antiques and Home Decor, a part of the Cinder Shack family of vendors where you can find both antique and new furniture, collectibles, housewares, gift items including jewelry and candles, and so much more. Follow Zen's Antiques and Home Decor on Facebook for new items and information on upcoming events. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor in Building 2 at 3391 National Pike in Farmington. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor.
Chris Parker Jr., it's the holiday season, time for giving thanks, and the most wonderful time of the year as we go over the river and through the woods.
0% financing for 60 months on all new 25 and 26 Tucsons and Santa Fe's is really something to be thankful for.
I'm listening.
0% for 60 months and the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event make it the perfect time to travel to family gatherings in these capable SUVs. Like the Santa Fe with third row seating for up to 7 passengers and 0% financing for 60 months. Or up to $4,500 HMF bonus cash.
Tell me more.
We still have a great selection of new 25s at pre-tariff prices, plus Black Friday specials with employee pricing all month long.
And every new Hyundai purchase includes Hyundai Assurance, America's best warranty with 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain protection and 3-year free complimentary maintenance. Autoland Hyundai, downtown Uniontown, or online at AutolandHyundai.com.
And you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
Unwrap faster internet this holiday season with Armstrong. Give yourself the gift of whole home internet with enhanced Wi-Fi, powered by our advanced fiber network. Plus, with our self-installation kit, you can get up and running as soon as same day. Don't wait till the last minute. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com and treat yourself to a gift that lasts all year. Internet you can count on, the people you trust. That's Armstrong.
If you're in the market for a power lift recliner for a person with special needs, or just a power recliner, Chesler's Fine Furniture is your headquarters with the biggest stock and biggest selection, and all for immediate delivery. Select from Lazy Boy, Catnapper, and Mega Motion in a variety of sizes, styles, and features. Some have heat and massage and power headrests, or select a total lay flat model with feet elevated. Chesler's has fabrics and a variety of textures and colors. There is surely one to fit your needs. And remember, Chesler's services all recliners that are purchased there. Power lift recliners start at $7.99, and regular power recliners start at $6.59. Credit terms, layaway, and delivery are available. Chesler's Fine Furniture, Route 51 in Uniontown, where customers send their friends.
It's the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. My voice is holding up right now, Nick. 3 hours from now, we'll see how it is.
Yeah, you sound a little hoarse or scratchy.
A little scratch. I've been taking medication, drank some Yukon Jack.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. And I hadn't had that in a while. I had it at the Pitt game last week. It was the only enjoyable part of that game.
I was going to say, were you yelling at the game? I mean,
No.
when your team loses by 31, then the next day our team lost by 19. It was a rough weekend.
And the Penguins gave up a touchdown over the weekend.
Is that right?
Well,
7 goals?
They said gave up 7 goals, right?
Quit mixing sports
They
now.
did come back Monday and win. A big win there, 5-1, I believe it was. So
that's a very funny story. There was a female anchor on SportsCenter who said she got a lot of flack for, this was back in the 90s when, people thought women couldn't talk about sports, which is ridiculous. And once, as a joke, she said, the Mariners lost by a touchdown today, like it was a 7-0 baseball game. And she said she was flooded with calls, you stupid woman, it's a wrong sport. And she went on the air and said, you know what, a little sarcasm and nuance must have eluded you people. I know touchdown is a football term. They would never give a man that grief. But I just thought that was a funny anecdote when you said the Penguins lost by a touchdown.
Well, there is the old school that just assume, men know about sports, women know about cooking.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know plenty of men who know nothing about sports and a lot of female sports fans.
I work part-time in retail. I'm the only man in this store.
Oh.
And especially older customers immediately think I'm either the owner or the manager, which drives the manager crazy.
I bet. And the manager's a woman, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
You're the only
course.
man at all.
Right, exactly.
Wow. Probably the only male. I mean, I'm sure there are male clients, customers.
Oh, there are, but
buying for their wives.
95% of the customers, except for Christmas, are women.
Yeah, Christmas, and a lot of very stressed out, harried-looking men the next
Coming
few
at
weeks.
the last minute. They
scared,
walk up to me, I'm
scared
like,
men.
right here. These two things match. By them.
Terrified men
out the door.
Yeah,
there you go. But yeah, just sort of find the old school thought on stuff like that. Are you the owner? No, I'm not the owner.
No.
In fact, I think at that store I report to the intern.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
the high school kid.
I'm as low as I can get. Yeah, I report to some high school kid that comes in Thursday afternoons once a month.
Exactly, with his backpack at 3 p.m. if the bus dropped him off in time.
With his skateboard.
Exactly. Hacky sack.
May I have your skateboard? Yeah. That's,
oh, my God.
Many years ago, a friend of mine who had recently divorced was going out on a date, and the guy showed up at the house with his skateboard under his arm. And her roommate said, "Would you like me to take his skateboard for you?"
Oh, that's funny.
I think the date was over before the check arrived.
I would say.
So that's that. Well, we're going to talk about a variety of topics tonight as we continue our year in review discussions. We're going to talk national politics, local politics. We're going to talk about TV in 2025. I was reading a column by who will be our guest coming up, Rob Owen from the TribLive.com and from the Tribune Review newspaper. And somebody had asked, I love it, people write into them and ask questions like, there's a commercial where 3 elderly women are sled riding down a hill.
Yes, I love that one. It's so sweet.
I don't know what it's about. It's probably some...
Amazon.
Oh, it's an Amazon?
Yeah, to buy things on Amazon.
It was like, my doctor said Cramadol or something.
Yeah.
Something you had to take.
But it's sweet.
And one of the questions was, who's the woman on the far right?
Oh, my God. Wow.
And Owen said, well, it's kind of hard to figure out who commercial actors are. But so he tracked it down. And the one was... he found out a woman who starred in a movie that was filmed in Pittsburgh that he had never heard of.
That's amazing. I was going to say the 3 elderly women. I'm sure one of them had a bit part on an episode of Lassie in 1958. The other one was a stagehand on Gone with the Wind. You know, who knows?
Or something. And they always seem to, every actor out there at some point or another was on Murder, She Wrote or The Love Boat.
The Love Boat.
It was usually the...
And Murder, She Wrote was really... insane. It was an 80-year-old woman solving murders. And why were there so many murders in this small town?
Cute, quaint town.
There's a murder every week.
I'm telling you. It has a murder rate right up there with Washington, D.C.
Exactly.
and Detroit.
Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yes. As Pat Summerall would say, he would always try, he was promoting it. Coming up tonight on CBS, a new Angela Lansbury episode of Murder, She Wrote. And they said John Madden said every week he tried to pause it. The pause would get bigger and bigger. And then once they were promoting a movie they were having, and he said, tonight it's a 1939 movie starring Clark Gable, Gone with the Wind. And they said Madden lost it. He laughed his head off.
Madden was terrific.
He was.
He gave sports all the
seriousness they deserved.
It deserved.
Yes.
Right, that's right. And the fact that what he's remembered for is video games.
Yes.
and the word doink.
Yes. And boom and bam. And here's the thing. Of the 3 things he did in football, he's remembered most for the video games and broadcasting. He was a phenomenal coach.
Oh, he was a great coach.
Even older people forget he was a coach. Right. Certainly people my age don't know.
And with the Raiders, who Pittsburghers never liked.
No, and he never forgave the Steelers for the Immaculate Reception. He never forgave them. He thought it was an illegal play.
Well, it was at the time.
It was.
Because he could not catch
but those
a ball.
officials, if they reversed it, would not have gone out of the stadium alive.
No.
And it's not tongue-in-cheek. They would have been in serious danger.
Yeah, it was the days long before you could have slow motion reviews. Even then, even in slow motion back then, you couldn't tell who the ball hit off of.
No.
Until years later, they could do it in super slow motion.
Yeah.
And the player at Bonstoff admitted like 30 years later, yeah, it hit me.
Yes.
Back then, the rule was you could not tip a ball from one offensive player to another.
Right. And it was Fuqua and Tatum who collided, and the ball went to Franco.
Yeah. And
Bradshaw many years later said, we drew it up that way, because Howie Long was giving him grief on the pregame. Howie, another Raider guy, he said, we drew it up that way, Howie. Quit your complaining.
And they always show, when they show it, the video of it, they never have the audio from the national announcers. They always have Jack Fleming. Mm-hmm. And he says, I don't know where it came from.
That's right. It's caught out of the air.
Franco got it. And don't you love Pittsburghers? Noticed a a new display at the new Pittsburgh terminal that shows Franco Harris that had the great statue of him catching the ball inches off the ground. And then they show in the background video, it's animated video, and it said that there was 0 time left on the clock when he scored a touchdown, when in fact there were 5 seconds left on the clock. Only Pittsburghers, and this is a compliment, would notice that minute detail. So that's only Steeler fans would notice that the clock was off by 5 seconds on a display at the Pittsburgh International Airport.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the airport realized, we got to fix this.
We got to fix that. It's right up there with Michael Keaton's name on the Walk of Fame being misspelled.
Yeah, the Walk of Fame in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, things happen.
Keaton wasn't spelled wrong.
Yeah, Michael.
Michael was spelled wrong.
That's amazing. Who would have thought?
Exactly. Joining us right now, and her name's spelled right as far as I know. Joining us on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line, CBS News correspondent and anchor, Linda Kenyon. Linda, thank you very much for joining us today. Wanted to get the latest on the ongoing discussions between the all-purpose envoy for President Trump, Steve Witkoff, and also the president's son-in-law came along for the ride, Jared Kushner. The president, Trump, described it as a very good meeting, but it doesn't seem like Putin's willing to bend all that much.
Yeah, like many things, it depends upon whum you ask. Just a short time ago, the president in the Oval Office discussing rolling back certain gas mileage standards was asked about this very same subject, and he said that his special envoy and his son-in-law had a very good meeting yesterday, and he also said that Putin did accept some U.S. proposals. Both Putin and his negotiators, however, say that there was no breakthrough. Meanwhile, Ukraine and its European allies are accusing the Russian president of feigning any interest whatsoever in actual peace after these talks yesterday, and accusing the Russian president and his negotiating team of wasting the world's time. So obviously, this is a very dicey situation. As you may recall, the president gave Ukraine until Thursday of last week, Thanksgiving Day, to come up with some kind of an agreement. And then that was pushed, as the president said, there was some signs of movement. And now, again, depending upon whom you ask, movement or no movement.
Yeah. Very interesting, too. Now, it's not unusual for this administration to have the son-in-law at these meetings. Jared Kushner reminds me back in the days, of course, in the Kennedy administration, that his brother Bobby, who, although was Attorney General, was the key person who made contact during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So I guess if you have somebody in the family, I guess you're going to get the best possible information, I suppose. Although Steve Witkoff seems to be the entire State Department in one person.
Yeah, he's a very, very busy man. He's not only been dealing with Russia and Ukraine, but also Israel and Hamas. Normally the Secretary of State will be the one who never gets to go home and spend time with his family. Now our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is a very busy man as well, also doing 2 or 3 jobs, national security advisor responsibilities as well. But Witkoff is doing a tremendous amount when it comes to the actual boots-on-the-ground negotiations, and has been credited by President Trump for working tirelessly to try to achieve peace around the globe.
Yeah, it's one of those positions he probably gets up in the morning, looks up at the ceiling in the hotel room, and has to remember what city he's in.
Right.
When you have that sort of just nonstop on-the-road diplomacy, perhaps nobody has played that sort of role since probably back to the days of FDR. Harry Hopkins was the first one to meet, of course, with Stalin, even before Roosevelt did, to have that sort of high-level advisor constantly representing the president. What is the next step now? I know Ukraine, it was reported, said that the Trump administration invited Kyiv to the U.S. I guess that just means representatives of the Ukrainian government to the U.S. in the near future.
Yeah, there is a possibility that there will be some discussions as early as Thursday of this week. That would be tomorrow. and that it will include some Russian negotiators. But I will also tell you that in this time of talking peace, both Russia and Ukraine continue to fire drones at each other. Russia fired 111 strike and decoy drones overnight, according to Ukraine's Air Force. And the Russian Defense Ministry is accusing Ukraine of firing 102 drones overnight. So while there may be some more talks tomorrow, the drones are continuing unabated.
Are these drones, now you may not know the answer to this question, are these drones that were created, manufactured in Russia? At one point they were so desperate for ammunition and soldiers, they went to North Korea for help. But when you hear about this many drones being sent and struck in one day, it makes it sound as if they have an endless supply.
Yeah, it does. They did go to North Korea to get not just equipment, but also foot soldiers. And the having to deal with Ukrainian drone technology is a difficult thing. Ukraine has a reputation for having among the best drones in the world. So while some military equipment is being bought through NATO, and it is U.S. equipment that NATO has been buying and sending to Ukraine, when it comes to drones, apparently, Ukraine is unrivaled.
Yeah. More to come on this, certainly. We appreciate your taking time to join us today. Linda Kenyon joining us on the Afternoon Drive Show. Linda, thank you very much, as always. We appreciate your reporting on these topics.
Thank you.
Thank you. Linda Kenyon. You know, once in a while, Nick, I get a question from somebody, even some folks here at the station who are coming in to do other shows, said, your interviews with the CBS folks are awfully short. Well, they're required to be short.
Yes, you know, they do a lot of them.
I've been told 5 minutes, and heaven knows how many interviews they do during the day, but they also have other reporting to do and research to do for those reports. So I hope folks understand, yes, there's CBS interviews.
Well, the fact you get them on at all is a great service to the station, Doug. You should be lauded for it. Yeah. I don't know why I'm sucking up to you so much today.
Yeah, Linda Kenyon just spoke to us live from the White House.
Yes, she did. God love her. Boots on the ground.
Yeah, it's I do miss our good buddy who we talk to from almost every continent on the globe. Steve Fetterman.
Oh, my gosh. Where in the world is Steve Fetterman?
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, not with CBS.
Need to track him down. We haven't talked to him in years after he was released.
You know, most people retire and travel the world. His career was traveling the world. I bet now he never leaves his apartment.
You know, that's right. Oh, do I have to go to the 7-Eleven?
Do I have to go to Piggly Wiggly again?
Oh, it's 2 miles away.
I'm going to have them deliver my cheese balls and diet soda. Yeah. That's funny.
So coming up here in just a moment, we're going to get the CBS News update. When we come back, we're going to check in with Finn Gomez. We haven't talked to him in a bit. But first, let's go to CBS News.
Right here on your local station, WMBS, where now it's 5:31.
CBS News Brief. The Pentagon's internal watchdog has determined Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth jeopardized sensitive information and could have endangered service members when he shared details in a signal chat about military operations in Yemen. Senator Mark Kelly.
Mike Waltz was not the guy that should have been fired. Pete Hegseth should have been fired.
Waltz, the former national security advisor who inadvertently invited a journalist to that chat. President Trump says he's rolling back fuel economy standards and other Biden administration moves.
We're canceling the EPA's absurd tailpipe emission standard.
One of two doctors charged with distributing a drug to Friends star Matthew Perry has been sentenced to 30 months in prison. Legal analyst Laurie Levinson.
Dr. Placencia had given ketamine to Matthew Perry, knowing that it was improper to do so and very dangerous.
He pleaded guilty and surrendered his California medical license. On Wall Street, stocks were higher. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Watch The Catholic Accent this Sunday morning at 11:30 on WPXI. As we begin the season of Advent and prepare our hearts for the light of the world, learn why we celebrate this season as we move toward Christmas, and how your family can participate in this season of hope. Discover what we know about Mary, the Mother of Christ, her role in the Nativity, her travels across the diocese, and how she continues to care for those in need during this season of hope. Tune into The Catholic Accent this Sunday morning at 11:30 on WPXI.
This is attorney Michael Mays of the Davis & Davis Law Firm. We have been helping injured people just like you recover millions of dollars for over 45 years. If you're hurt or injured, I want to meet you and make sure you get the money that you deserve. Call me at 724-437-2799 for your free consultation. The Davis & Davis Law Firm has been protecting our neighbors in Greene and Fayette counties for over 45 years. Go to davisanddavislaw.com or call 724-437-2799 for your free consultation.
It's a day that ends in Y, so it's a day that you might decide you don't want to cook. That means it's the perfect day to order Fat Angelo's. Offering delicious pizzas, salads, hoagies, strombolis and calzones, wings, and more, and with 12 locations across the area ready to serve you, today is the day to visit FatAngelosPizza.com, where you can quickly and conveniently find your local shop and place your order online, or get the local phone number and give them a call. Order up!
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Cooler temperatures may be on the way, but you could still enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturers and customer guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 for a no-cost or obligation home consultation. Or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
That's the Who. Bring us out of the break here. Chilly out there, folks. What are we looking at right now? 28 degrees outside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law Studios.
Yeah.
That's
Low
cold.
tomorrow night, 16 above.
16.
And I have to emphasize because it may be 16 below in a few weeks. You never know.
Exactly.
I thought you wanted to keep the Who going.
No, you could have. You didn't have to shut it off that quick. You didn't have your headphones on, so I don't even know if you knew the music
You
was
freaked
playing.
out.
So let's talk about next week. You turned 30, Nick.
Yes, I do.
And
I'm feeling it
you
too.
started here 2 days after your 15th birthday.
Yes. They weren't paying me yet. I wasn't on the air initially, but I got on the air pretty quickly.
Yeah, you
Persistence
wanted it
paid
pretty
off.
quick. So in other words, what you're saying is you already have a 15-year pension at age 30.
And I'm going to get a hell of a gold watch when I do hang it up.
Good heavens.
Maybe
bro.
a gold microphone.
That's not bad. So you were on the air at age 15. It's not a violation of child labor laws.
I think it is. Yeah.
That could investigative report.
Why were they putting me on the air? I mean, when I was 15, I was a chimp. I wasn't suitable to scoop ice cream. They put me on the radio. I'm still barely any good at it.
You do, above average. That's what I would say about Nick.
Above the mean. That's
Exactly.
what the Steelers say.
Way above the average is our next guest. That's a good suck up.
Oh, there you go. He just
Joining
hung
us
up. No.
on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line to continue our 2025 year in review. National politics on this one. Our good friend from CBS News, Finn Gomez. There's an introduction for you, Finn. How are you, by the way? CBS News political director. Let me throw that in.
That's right. Political director and now executive editor.
Maybe he hung up on us.
No, he's on. It's like he's
on?
talking, Nick.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, Nick. Don't talk over our guest. Put your headphones on.
They were unplugged. I mean, they were halfway in, halfway out. I'm so sorry, Finn. Continue.
And we apologize for our producer.
That's all right.
I'm having a nice conversation with Finn over there, and you're yakking away. Go ahead, Finn. I'm sorry for Nick.
So rude.
I know he's coming up on his 15-year review. This is coming up next week. Let me tell you.
I'm out. I'm done.
Please include it. Plus the fact I have still yet to have received any Primanti brothers.
The Primanti brothers. We got to get them that.
And I've been asking for 3 years.
I know. Well, we've bought it several times for you. On the way to the mailbox, we ate it.
We ate it. Then the post office said it's too soggy.
Yeah,
they're not handling it.
So.
Well, he did anyway. It's better than any sandwich here in D.C.
Let's talk politics 2025. Just the other day, of course, there was a special election in Tennessee. The Republicans won it by 9 points, but that was far below what the president won that same district by, I suppose, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like that special election you're talking about in Tennessee, in the Tennessee 7th district, that was a district that went to President Trump last year. He won it by 22 points. This is a very, very red district. The last time there was a congressional election for this district, the Republican in the race won it by 21 points. So flash forward to yesterday, and the Republican in the race, Matt Van Ness, won it by only 9 points. Yes, 9 points. Definitely a healthy win regardless of the situation. But if you compare it to the margins from the previous cycles, it is definitely, there's been a lot of attention because it shows that perhaps there's a continued momentum. This is what Democrats are telling me. There's a continued momentum. We saw that on November 4th, right, with those off-year elections in New Jersey, New York City, Virginia, and California. And they're essentially saying that it continues that momentum, this overperformance by Democrats, even though they lost, they're taking it as a win because they essentially, it became a single-digit margin, even though, again, it was a 9-point win, right?
Yeah. And that's a smart way to approach it. Back when I was with the political consulting firm, if our candidate lost, our client lost, we would spin it like, oh, well, this was a positive because it was a close race. So that's a standard approach. And if I were advising, I would say the same thing to those candidates. The one thing in politics that never loses is the pendulum. And in 2024, Democrats were the bug. And sometimes you're the windshield, but they were the bug last year. In 2025, clearly the Republicans have been the bug when it comes to hitting the windshield. They have not done well in 2020. In Pennsylvania, it was a clean sweep in judicial elections statewide, including retention elections. In fact, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the Amish area, which usually votes very Republican, in the special election, elected a Democratic senator for the first time in decades. So we'll see what happens next year in 2026. We'll see how far that pendulum swings back. But that truly is how it is in politics, correct? Back and forth.
Absolutely. The pendulum always swings back. It's been happening for cycles and cycles, and we're seeing that. And historically, in off-year elections, it's usually it mirrors the midterms a little bit because in both cycles, especially in the midterms, typically the party that is in control of the White House, their party does worse due to those historical headwinds during the midterms, also in these off-year elections, which is primarily over a Democratic landscape. New Jersey and Virginia, and of course California and New York City, very Democratic, very blue landscape there, if you will. But what Republicans are trying to do through redistricting and through the enormous treasure chest they basically have, war chest, I should say, and they do. They're prepping for a battle, and they feel that they feel that they can win over a lot of these frontline districts. Those are the districts that are really at issue and in play for both parties. But Democrats are saying, look, we have the momentum now. We have a pathway out of the wilderness since that big loss to Donald Trump and the Republicans last year, and they feel that they're getting this momentum back, and it bodes well for them with that pendulum, they say, swinging back in their direction for ahead of next year's crucial midterm elections.
Yeah, you just said about treasure chest. If you have a good war chest in politics, it might as well be a treasure chest. You're absolutely right.
They do. I mean, it's like for Trump's political machine, it's like $1 billion plus. It's a lot of money that they're willing to spend, and and they do have an effective system of getting out the vote operation. But I think, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think there are two things that really motivate voters, and that's fear and that's fury. And right now, there's a big part of the electorate that is furious, and you're seeing that in some of these elections. But will it hold until next year? Let's see.
Yeah, it's interesting when you think about those midterm elections, and you're absolutely right. In the last 40 to 50 years, there's only been one midterm where the president's party increased seats in Congress, and that was in 2002, following 9/11. So that all the rules were different that year. Everything was different following 9/11. And of course, that was a midterm for President George W. Bush, and the Republicans did well. But when you think about something like Bill Clinton defeating an incumbent president, George H.W. Bush, in 1992, 2 years later, the Republicans in 94 took over the Senate and the House. So yeah, that pendulum never loses. We always say in politics, it's going to swing back.
That's right.
And sometimes it's a little slower than other times, but we'll see what happens next year. But let's talk more about 2025 and those elections, as you mentioned in Virginia and New Jersey. Interesting one just the other day. Former Governor McGreevey, who had to resign on a scandal, tried to come back. You don't often hear a former governor running for mayor of a city, Jersey City, I guess he ran, and lost in the runoff election just the other day, correct?
That's right. And look, and what you saw in that race, it mirrors what you saw in New York when you had a progressive, younger sort of insurgent candidate take on a well-established establishment Democrat, if you will, that has had previous success. Of course, both them, McGreevey and Cuomo, both those opponents who represented that more moderate establishment wing of the party, they also were flawed candidates. They both had scandals within their respective administrations that had them end their tenures as governors early. Now, and what you saw is these progressives come from behind. In New York City with Mamdani, he came out of virtually nowhere. He was polling 1%, ends up winning the primary, and then, of course, the general election. And we saw that again in New Jersey, where you were seeing this. And a lot of times they're riding the wave of affordability. There's a populism wave that's also rising, similar to what we saw last year with Donald Trump. But this time you're seeing more of it, that wave sort of go towards the left. And you're seeing these, outsider candidates who make affordability, cost of living at the center of their campaigns, and they're seeing success. And also, like you mentioned, like in Virginia and New Jersey, you saw a different candidate. Yeah, there were more. With Spanberger in Virginia, with Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey, they're more centrist Democrats. They're moderate Democrats. But if you connect all three of them together, New York City, Virginia, and New Jersey, there was really affordability, which was sort of that connective tissue for all three of those campaigns. And also, in these primarily blue landscapes, a base that was motivated to vote because of their feelings towards the Trump administration.
Yeah. And that's what drives it, of course. Anytime there's these races, they always compare how the numbers the previous time around. Of course, exactly. President Trump did very well in those swing states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota. And then in Pennsylvania, we have such a unique situation right now that John Fetterman, who was the absolute darling of the far left, now polling repeatedly from various polling organizations shows that John Fetterman has more support in Pennsylvania among Republicans than he has among Democrats. And you could have won a big bet if you had said, half a year ago that would happen. But he's gone very unique and has basically said he hasn't said he's running for re-election, but he said he'd welcome a primary. So that's saying the same thing basically. But very interesting how that has changed in our state of Pennsylvania.
he's almost definitely going to get a primary challenge from Conor Lamb and maybe some others, right?
Right, yeah, Conor Lamb, of course, who was the congressman from right here in southwestern Pennsylvania. They redid his district. He chose not to run because he didn't think he could win that district, so he ran, of course, for U.S. Senate in the primary and really got clobbered by John Fetterman. It wasn't even close.
Oh, yeah.
And what the irony of it is that a Democrat won his former seat and got reelected, and now the Republican at the national level said they're not going to challenge it again. So, yeah, it's very interesting that it's a very small world. My former boss, U.S. Senator Arlen Specter's son, his law firm, now employs Conor Lamb. So it's rather always sort of fascinating. And Conor Lamb's been out giving a lot of speeches, very critical of Fetterman. So we'll wait and see what happens next year. But that's a long way away. That's 2028. John Fetterman's in the news so much, you think he's been in the Senate for 10 years.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he is constantly news, gets a lot of attention. But I feel that a lot of Pennsylvania politicians also generate a lot of national attention, not just John Fetterman. I mean, look, your governor, Josh Shapiro. I mean, I'm talking to some top Democrats here in Washington and outside of Washington, and he's at the top of the list for many of them for consideration, early consideration for 2028. Of course, he's got to go through his own reelection process first, but he had a big article in the Atlantic. He made some news, was very critical of Vice President Harris's comments in her book, 107 Days, about the vice presidential vetting process. But he is generating a lot of attention. He's got this centrist perspective for the most part, and you see that. He makes a habit of, he's very eloquent. He's a good messenger for his party. He can really frame the affordability issue in a way that is palatable to across the electorate. He's someone to watch, and that's what Democrats are telling me for higher aspirations as we continue forward into the next year.
He has the largest PR staff any governor's ever had in Pennsylvania, and his activities and his constant travel around the state feed into that, and that gets his name out more and more. Although there is the ongoing battle, and Fetterman has said it in his new book, he doesn't like the governor. So it's sort of fascinating. A lot of people said that it was Fetterman who convinced the Harris campaign not to pick Shapiro as the vice presidential candidate with her, or her running mate, I should say, and picked Tim Walz, of course, instead. So, yeah, it's interesting in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has a very late presidential primary, and people always say, oh, we don't have much of an impact. Well, they certainly did last year. That's for sure, with the role Pennsylvania played in the presidential race, as we talk with Finn Gomez, CBS News political director. Finn, you've given us a lot of time here. I don't know if you have extra time. If you want to jump in, feel free. If you got to go, I certainly understand. You've got a lot of responsibilities with CBS News, but we do appreciate your taking time. The redistricting issue is something that's happening now around the country on both sides of the aisle, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Redistricting is like the next chapter here. Like what happens in Indiana? How many more seats will Republicans add, pushed by, mobilized by the president and the White House? They're feeling pressure in Indiana. Obviously, there's also some they're getting sort of social, targeted on social media. There's been, fake bomb threats and that kind of targeting as well to put pressure on this. But I think the question is overall is like how many Republican seats are added by the time those deadlines come further. So there's a big wave of deadlines coming this month in various states. So they have a finite amount of time. Of course, there's the Supreme Court ruling also on voter rights that could impact districts in Louisiana at the very least. But it's in Florida, will Governor DeSantis add or push to add more another Republican-friendly seat there? And how will Democrats counter? You saw Californians do that with Governor Newsom and his referendum on November 4th. They won that very easily. But ultimately, will it matter, or will there be enough of a Democratic overperformance? Perhaps Democrats certainly hope so. To win more seats, or will it be enough to stave off some of these increments by Democrats and keep the Republicans in the majority? I think the overall census right now and it's super early. We don't get into prediction business, but Democrats feel really good about taking back the House come almost a year from now.
Yeah, the Senate's going to be a little tougher, of course.
Sure.
It always is.
Sure.
But
you always know your stuff. You always know your stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. My first job in politics, I joined the U.S. I was a staffer in the U.S. Senate in 1986, and I don't ever remember mid-census redistricting. It's unheard of. It's always the year or two after a census is taken. But to have this redistricting battles now, I don't ever recall that happening before. And it continues.
Not like this.
Yeah, it really makes. It's been forced on states by courts, and happened in Pennsylvania several years ago. The state Supreme Court said the constitutional districts are unconstitutional, and they literally rewrote them themselves. But yeah, I don't ever remember this happening legislatively like this. If it has, I missed it somehow. Finn Gomez.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you joining us today.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate the time. Always an honor to talk to my Pennsylvania colleagues and talk to the great area of Pittsburgh. And again, I'll be checking my mailbox for any Italian Permanente Brothers subs, but I'm still hopeful.
We got to figure a way to get that to him. If I have to deliver it in person, we'll get it to him.
We'll do it. Carrier pigeon.
That's right. All right. Hey, thanks so much. All right.
All right. Thanks, you.
See you.
Good guy. Gave us a lot of time there. Busy guy. He's political director for CBS News. See him on TV, streaming, radio, you name it. He's on it. And we appreciate him joining us for our politics, national politics 2025, a year in review discussion. We'll be talking local politics with John Delano, everybody, coming up in the at about 7:35 tonight. We'll be chatting it up with him on that as we continue. But coming up at 6:35, well, I'll tease that and say we'll talk about what that's going to be after the break. Stick around.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Looking for a fireplace? Koval Building Supply at 40 Monroe Avenue in Uniontown is more than your plumbing supply store. We specialize in fireplaces of all fuel types, such as gas, wood, pellet, and electric. We're now featuring Harmon pellet stoves from Forge and Flame, perfect for keeping your family warm and cozy. Call Koval today at 724-437-8824 or visit kovalsupply.com to start planning for the winter season. Koval Building Supply, everything you need to make your house feel like home. A Best in Fayette winner for tires and automotive service, Tireman's Auto Garage has the cheapest prices in town on new and used tires. They are also top automotive specialists for any car, any repair, offering diagnostic service, alignments, oil changes, state inspections, batteries, brakes and rotors, and more. The holidays are coming. That means cold weather and snow. Be ready. Be safe with new tires from Tireman's Auto Garage, where you'll find the lowest prices in town. Plus, ACIMA and Snap leasing available. If you've been past Tireman's recently, you've seen golf carts on the roof. Tireman's has a variety of 2, 4, and 6-seater golf carts, gas or electric, available for purchase with financing available. Interested in renting a golf cart? Call 724-425-9606 and ask about rentals. Or stop in and see Kim or Joe at Tireman's Auto Garage on Mill Street in Uniontown. Happy holidays from Kim and Joe at Tireman's Auto Garage, a Best in Fayette place for tires and auto service.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful.
We went to Mutts on Market Street, the dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
The holidays are here, so treat your furry friends to a fresh holiday grooming at Mutts on Market Street. And don't forget your feline friends. Mutts on Market Street now offers cat grooming. Get your pets holiday ready at Mutts on Market Street in downtown Brownsville. Visit them on Facebook for details.
WMBS.
Now, back in the day, Kiefer was considered a great guitarist. Now, I've seen him in concert twice in the last, I guess, 8 years. I don't remember him playing all that much guitar.
It's amazing he's been performing live. Wait. Oh. Oh. Thank
Easy,
you, Mick.
Nick.
Thank you, Mick.
I think you're going to have an accident.
The
over
next
there.
line is Cocaine Eyes, which may be inappropriate for our listeners, even though I just said it. But yeah, Keith has been playing live for the last 20 years and hasn't played the guitar in the last 20 years. But, you know, hey, he had a great run and he wrote a great book and he fell out of a coconut tree. And when you drink a bottle of Jack Daniels every day for 30 years, you lose some capacity.
Right.
So
I think at this point, he's just going to live forever.
Yes.
Yeah. When you destroy your body the way he has and you're still living, what's going to stop you?
There was a great meme many years ago. We have to think about the world we're going to leave behind for Betty White and Keith Richards. Keith Richards still alive. Betty White lived to be 99. So
yeah, it's they say in a nuclear holocaust, cockroaches will survive. So will Kiefer.
Yes, he's amazing.
Yeah,
And I
Keith
think
Richards will survive a nuclear holocaust.
him and Mick and the members of The Who, they're all still going.
Yeah.
Robert Plant is still touring with songs he wrote after Led Zeppelin. If you were in Led Zeppelin, the greatest band ever, I think, I would just stop at that point. Paul McCartney created the Beatles and then continued to make more music and performs live. It's a drug.
It's just in Pittsburgh.
Yes. I mean, after you create the world's greatest band, you
Right.
think that's enough. But no, he keeps going.
He
was, Wings was phenomenal. These guys are just a joy, a treasure to humanity, really.
Yeah. And when I try to tell my kids, this is why rock and roll is so good. Coming up, by the way, we're going to check in at 6:35 with our good friend Rob Owen from the Tribune Review, TV writer and critic. We're going to do our TV 2025 a year in review. But before that, Thane Rosenbaum is going to join us from CBS News, legal analyst, to talk about the murder trial of Luigi Mangione. As my daughter says, the best-looking murderer she's ever seen. Obviously a very serious matter. But news is next on your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. In a report to Congress, the Pentagon's internal watchdog says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's signal chat, including details on military action in Yemen, violated regulations. Senator Mark Kelly.
All this demonstrates that he is unqualified for this job.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe with the details.
The Inspector General report concludes that Secretary Hegseth jeopardized sensitive military information and could have endangered American service members when he shared those details in that signal chat with a handful of senior administration officials and one journalist, of course, with the Atlantic magazine. The other thing that this report reveals, among other things, is that the Secretary himself was not terribly cooperative, only shared a handful of his signal messages with the Inspector General, and otherwise they had to basically copy and paste the ones that the Atlantic magazine had published itself as evidence.
Hegseth is also under scrutiny for a second strike on a suspected drug boat with survivors on board. That was back in September, and he says an admiral ordered it. That admiral will brief lawmakers tomorrow. CBS's Caitlin Huey Burns.
He's the person that everybody up here on Capitol Hill wants to hear from because of the way the administration is essentially pointing the fingers at him at this point.
An immigration enforcement surge is now underway in New Orleans, and Minneapolis is bracing for action there against the Somali community. President Trump continued his verbal attacks today.
The Somalians should be out of here. They've destroyed our country. And all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with... Go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution.
The Associated Press is reporting a top Ukrainian negotiator will meet in Miami tomorrow with aides to President Trump. It comes after the meeting yesterday with Russia's president. CBS's Ramy Inocencio is following.
As for what happened in Moscow, everyone's wondering, right? And the details are not clear. But what we do know is that the territorial issue is the number one issue, whether you ask Moscow or whether you ask Kyiv.
One of the doctors who sold ketamine to Friends star Matthew Perry before his overdose death has been sentenced. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
Instead of getting a 40-year possible maximum sentence, Dr. Placencia got 2.5 years in prison after he pled guilty to 4 counts of distributing the drug of ketamine.
He admitted to selling ketamine to Perry, knowing he was a struggling addict. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's a day that ends in Y, so it's a day that you might decide you don't want to cook. That means it's the perfect day to order Fat Angelo's. Offering delicious pizzas, salads, hoagies, strombolis and calzones, wings, and more. And with 12 locations across the area ready to serve you, today is the day to visit FatAngelosPizza.com, where you can quickly and conveniently find your local shop and place your order online. Or get the local phone number and give them a call. Order up!
Wow, your dog looks beautiful.
We went to Mutts on Market Street, the dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
The holidays are here, so treat your furry friends to a fresh holiday grooming at Mutts on Market Street. And don't forget your feline friends. Mutts on Market Street now offers cat grooming. Get your pets holiday ready at Mutts on Market Street in downtown Brownsville. Visit them on Facebook for details.
The one about the drunk raccoon? CBS's Deborah Rodriguez has the tale.
Animal protection officers in Hanover County, Virginia, say a raccoon fell through a ceiling tile into a liquor store, ransacked the shelves, and passed out after a booze-fueled rampage. They posted a picture of the critter face planted next to a toilet in the bathroom of the shop in Ashland. Another documents broken booze bottles, mostly gin and whiskey, scattered throughout the aisles. A statement from Animal Protection says that after a few hours of sleep and 0 signs of injury other than maybe a hangover and poor life choices, the raccoon was safely released back to the wild. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The Powerball jackpot has climbed to nearly $800 million ahead of today's drawing, one of the top 10 prizes in Powerball's history. The odds of winning are 1 in over 292 million. I'm Cammie McCormick, CBS News.
The local district and statewide news is being brought to you by Fayette Area Coordinated Transportation, striving harder to get you farther. For more information, call 724-628-RIDE. And now to the news.
And a very good evening. I'm Nick Barczyk from the Davis & Davis Studios. Davis & Davis, attorneys at law, voted Fayette County's best law firm 2025, your local station, WMBS. It is 6:05 and 30 degrees under cloudy skies. We'll get to the weather watch and the sports in just a bit. Western Pennsylvania residents and others around the state can now begin applying for aid to help cover energy costs. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP, is a federal grant program that typically offers up to $2,000 in assistance for income-eligible people to help with those costs. Applications are being accepted at compass.dhs.pa.gov. Seven Springs Mountain Resort is set to open for the season this weekend. Skiers, tubers, and snowboarders will be able to start visiting the property Saturday morning. There'll be a live DJ and cookies and cocoa available for guests on opening day this weekend. The first chair riders of the Polar Bear Express will be getting prizes as well. A Missouri teenager driving a stolen pickup struck a truck and backed into a state police vehicle in Washington, PA this week. Officers found 19-year-old Kamari Flowers in a Ford F-150 reported stolen from Missouri on East Buffalo Church Road in Buffalo Township, Washington County. A traffic stop begun and Flowers sped off, though. The pickup hit a tractor-trailer while trying to get on I-70 West at the Taylorstown exit. It then stopped on the interstate and backed into a state police vehicle. Flowers was taken into custody and is facing multiple charges. No injuries have been reported. American Eagle is raising its sales estimates for the year after quarterly results that beat expectations. The Southwest Pennsylvania-based clothing company says it expects fourth quarter sales to grow from 8 to 9%, 4 times better than what was originally expected. Shares jumped 15% in extended trading this week, with the company giving credit to ad campaigns featuring Sydney Sweeney and Travis Kelce. More next on WMPS.
Take the fact.
Need to get to work? Run errands? See a doctor? Fact connects Fayette County. Ride our convenient routes through Uniontown, Connellsville, Brownsville, even to Pittsburgh. Seniors 65 and older ride free on fixed routes. People with disabilities get big savings, and Medicaid recipients can ride to medical appointments at no cost through our shared ride and paratransit services. Find out if you qualify today. Call 724-628-RIDE or visit factbus.com. Fact, your ride, your independence.
Shredded cheese sold in Pennsylvania is being recalled. The FDA says more than 1.5 million bags of shredded cheeses produced by Great Lakes Cheese Company may contain metal fragments. The cheese was sold at Walmart as the Great Value brand, Target is the Good and Gaither brand, Aldi is the Happy Farms brand, and at other stores. They have a sell-by date which range from January 2026 to March 2026. Visit FDA.gov for more information. The unofficial start of the Christmas and holiday shopping season is a successful one.
MasterCard shows a 4% increase in spending this Black Friday compared to last year, with retailers raking in nearly $12 billion in online sales on Friday alone. Not everyone, though, is taking part.
The Black Friday, it used to be really 50%, really 60%. Now you only see 30, 40s.
Ridiculous. It's not worth it anymore. It's not what it used to be years ago. Those were sales, not now.
The National Retail Federation projects a record $1 trillion in holiday spending this year, up from $976 billion last year. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Former Steelers defensive end L.C. Greenwood, as we go to sports, was named a finalist for 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame in the seniors category. Greenwood was a Steeler for 13 seasons. He won 4 Super Bowls, was a first-team All-Pro twice, and was a 6-time Pro Bowler. Greenwood died 12 years ago at the age of 67. And also in sports, we have basketball tomorrow night. C. Arparado Group High School Sports Night, boys high school action. Sprouse Insurance Group pregame at 6:40, game at 7:30. A makeup from a snow out yesterday. Uniontown at Thomas Jefferson. Basketball action, Red Raiders at Jags, radio and video Thursday on WMBS. After that, Penguins and the Lightning from Tampa. Steelers have a big game against the Ravens for first in the AFC North Sunday at 1 o'clock in Baltimore on WMBS. Both teams are at 6-6. Aaron Rodgers expected to start a quarterback for Pittsburgh. And the weather watch, we have a few cancellations, actually delays to tell you about. Delays for now for tomorrow, Thursday the 4th. The Laurel Highlands School District has a 2-hour delay in St. John the Evangelist of Uniontown. They also have a 2-hour delay, and if we get any more delays or cancellations, we'll pass it along on our Facebook page, and Matt will bring you the updated list starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And now the weather watch for all of southwest Pennsylvania. Right now we're looking at 28 degrees, a chilly evening. Went up to 31 today. The overnight low tonight down to 26. Snow flurries likely Thursday, high 33, low in the teens at 15 above Thursday night. Friday at 36, 38 on Saturday and Sunday at 39. I think that's Archie Bunker in the background. 28 degrees at 6:11 on this Wednesday evening. And good evening from the Davis and Davis studios at WMBS. I'm Nick Barczyk. What's going on over there, Doug?
I'm watching a short segment of one of the all-time great comedy scenes on TV ever from WKRP.
I'm seeing it now.
The Thanksgiving episode. We'll talk about that with Rob Owen coming up at 6:35, among other things in our TV 2025 The Year in Review.
With God as my witness, I thought turkeys could fly, Doug.
Okay, I was teasing it, and now you just gave it away. You son of a gun, you.
It's such a famous line. I think people knew where we were going with that, but, I wanted to say it. I wanted to say it on the radio. Now, all right, go ahead and play it.
God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly.
Oh, it was even funnier that time.
That's Mr. Carlson, of course, the general manager of WKRP in Cincinnati.
Thank you, Doug.
We don't often say other call letters on this station.
No, we don't.
You can say that one.
We're getting Lonnie Anderson on. I think she passed away, unfortunately.
Passed away. Yeah, Lonnie's not with us anymore.
You met her and Burt Reynolds, right? We'll talk about that story after.
I did not meet Burt Reynolds. I did meet Lonnie Anderson.
Let me play the news close before the sponsor gets mad. That's the news on WMPS.
The local district and statewide news has been a service of FACT, Fayette Area Coordinated Transportation, striving harder to get you farther. Phone 724-628-RIDE for routes, rates, and schedules. 724-628-RIDE for FACT.
And the Afternoon Drive Show continues after this on WMBS.
Point Hill Living Care Home is an all-new personal care home conveniently located in Point Marion and is now accepting new residents. Point Hill Living is committed to providing comfort and support while allowing residents to maintain their independence and enhance their quality of life. With a dedicated staff and experienced advanced care team, Point Hill Living offers fully customized care plans for all residents, while also ensuring a sense of community and engagement, making Point Hill feel like home. Multiple care levels are available, from basic plans to fully customized and enhanced plans, including options for medical monitoring and full-time dedicated assistance. If you are looking for a high-quality care home close to home, look no further than Point Hill Living Care Home at 300 Union Street in Point Marion. Call them today at 724-725-5533 to learn more, or visit them at pointhillliving.com. Point Hill Living Care Home, where our residents are family.
This is Steve Neubauer. This holiday season, let's come together to support those in need. Join us at Neubauer's Market House on Saturday, December the 6th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon and make a meaningful impact by donating a toy to Toys for Tots, contributing toys, diapers, or monetary gifts to Hope's House, or pet supplies to Fayette Friends of Animals. As a token of our appreciation, enjoy a free donut and a steaming cup of coffee. Plus, don't miss the chance to hear WMBS broadcasting live from the event. Bring your friends, spread the word, and let's show our community that we care. Mark your calendar, rally your friends, and join us at Neubauer's Market House on Saturday, December the 6th from 10 a.m. to noon. Together we can make this holiday season brighter for those who need it most. Neubauer's is located at 36 East Church Street in downtown Uniontown.
People I trust, it's the place I go. Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Home Warehouse thanks you for once again voting them the best in Fayette for home improvements and windows, and they know how to make your house a happy home. Save on energy costs, keep out drafts, and update your home with beautiful new windows, doors, and storm doors from Home Warehouse, your one-stop shop for your exterior building needs. Roofing, shingles, metal, and commercial rubber roofing, shutters, siding, soffit and fascia, railing, as well as flooring, home and gun safes, wood pellets, and dog food too. So for selection, great prices, and hometown service, see Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse, Connellsville Street in Uniontown, wishing you a happy holiday season. Shop Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, Saturday, 8 to noon, closed Sunday and holidays.
Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Are you considering a project design and don't know where to start? K2 Engineering offers a wide range of professional civil, architectural, and municipal services to meet your individual project needs. Our versatility, combined with our personalized approach, is what sets us apart as a full-service engineering and consultation firm. To learn more about our services, please visit us on the web at www.k2engineering.net. K2 Engineering, where customer service is our priority.
Pizza Kings in Connellsville is your go-to lunch and dinner spot with a full menu of mouth-watering pizzas and so much more. Using a deck oven helps our pizzas stay extra crisp, so if you haven't tried a slice lately, what are you waiting for? From our 50-slice King Carnivore to veggie pizzas and even pickle pizzas, Pizza King has the pie to match your taste. Pizza Kings, 1046 Morrell Avenue in Connellsville. Call 724-626-8343 or visit pizzakingswithaz.com. Well, it's time to trim the tree and maybe win some extra holiday green. Starting Thursday, just be the sixth caller to 724-438-4593 whenever you hear,
"Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree."
And you'll win 10 $3 Trim the Tree scratch-off tickets from the Pennsylvania Lottery, bursting with cheer and 5 top prizes of $30,000. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Thursday is another CR Braddock Group High School Sports Night here on WMBS. Join us for WPIL High School Boys Basketball action as the Uniontown Red Raiders travel to Thomas Jefferson to take on the Jaguars. I'm Brian Morozak. I'll have all the exciting play-by-play action for you, starting with our Sprouse Insurance Group pregame show at 6:40, with the opening tip-off between the Jaguars and the Red Raiders set for 7:30, and we'll have a live video stream on the WMBS YouTube page. That's WPIL High School Boys Basketball action, Uniontown and Thomas Jefferson, Thursday at 7:30 here on WMBS.
My cousin Vinny. That's right, Nick. I was just mentioning off the air.
We talked about Cape Fear and my cousin Vinny off the air.
Right. And when you said that, 2 Utes were here.
Yeah, Pesci.
2 Utes? Did you say Utes? Yes, 2 Utes.
That's great.
Do you remember who the judge was?
I was just going to ask you. It was Thurman Munster, right?
Yeah, it was. Not Thurman.
Not Thurman. I'm thinking of the Yankees catcher.
You're thinking of
Thurman Munson. Eddie Munster,
Herman.
right? Herman. I knew it was one.
Herman
Munster. That's the point, yeah.
Herman Munster. You can always tell when Nick's talking really loud. He's got his microphone through the roof and no headphones on.
Headphones on, sorry.
And last time around, you interrupted my interview with somebody because you didn't have your headphones plugged in.
I'll lower my register. Is this low enough?
That's better. That's better. As we are a week away from celebrating Nick's 15th anniversary with the station, which is 2 days after he turns 30.
I think it's my 15th birthday and my 30th anniversary, which makes no sense, but we're figuring it out. No, you got it right, Doug.
You were 15 years and 2 days old when you started working here.
And they somehow let me in the building and put me on the air. And as I said, I'm still not good at it. I can't imagine how bad I was that day.
You're average. Come on now.
I just managed to dial the 10 digits you give me to get the guests on. So, in the right order.
Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, our friend from CBS News, author, professor, counselor, you name it, legal analyst for CBS News, Thane Rosenbaum. Thane, thanks for joining us today as we're a week away from the big celebration of Nick's 15th anniversary on the air. I'm sure you're all aflutter like we are.
Flutter.
Well, I've been with CBS for 8 years, and I have never remembered a day without Nick.
Oh, right. Well, Thane.
Nick's been here forever.
And I love hearing the sound of your voice, Thane.
He has spent he's only 30, he spent half his life on the air.
I love that story. I think I was slow at the pitch. I think Nick threw that joke to me about Cape Fear. I didn't know, was that just to me, or did everyone hear that on the air?
I think everyone heard that.
I think we did, yeah.
Okay.
Because Robert Mitchum
I was going to apologize to Nick. It was Nick, sorry, I didn't really think you were talking to me.
No, well, Doug said I should address you as counselor, and that reminded me of Cape Fear, and Robert Mitchum calls Gregory Peck counselor 100 times in the movie.
So you were referring to me, okay?
Absolutely, yes, counselor.
Okay.
Counselor, professor, producer, analyst. He's got all kind of titles.
All-around groovy guy.
That too. Now I forgot what we're... No,
Who knows?
We're going to have to somehow transition from this.
You have you got a lead-in. You have a really good lead one. You know what it was?
What was the lead?
Groovy guy.
Oh.
Because that's how Mangione is being treated by his fans.
Yeah. I have mentioned this several times on the air. One of my 4 daughters, after this tragic murder occurred, said, Doug, I hate to say, or Doug, I know, Dad, I hate to say this, but he's a really good-looking murderer.
Yeah, they ain't lying.
Yeah, he is.
They ain't lying.
Yeah.
It's rather unique. And this is not some, straggler. My gosh, what was he? Graduated top in his class, crazy stuff like this. He wasn't screwed over. Can I say that on the air? By this company whose CEO he killed. Apparently, he had insurance through somebody else. And there's a connection to a very prominent family in Baltimore. A former colleague of mine worked for that family at a media operation down in Baltimore. So the whole thing is very different than the loner you hear about shooting at people.
Yeah, that's what I said. His fans are not only outside the courtroom, some of them are inside giggling inside the courtroom. The judge needs to remind them to, show decorum and respect. They're treating him like, again, a groovy guy who's very good looking, went to an Ivy League school. And, we're living in a very strange time where people, cheer on terrorists that gang rape girls, and every statue gets pulled down, and monuments are defaced. We're living in an era of nihilism, and I would think Mangione, the way people are treating him, is an example of nihilism. It's saying, we want to defund the police and burn down police precincts and burn police cars. And yes, we should shoot down the CEO of a major healthcare company.
It was so blatant. What he wrote his name. It seems like this was years ago now, but he wrote his name on the shells.
Yeah.
That he knew were going to be left behind.
Yeah.
And he didn't stop and pick up the shells. Rarely do people shooting guns do that. But obviously, it clearly wanted to be caught. Or am I exaggerating it?
No, I mean, that's the paradox, right? I mean, of course, he has lawyers, and they know what to do as lawyers. But they've been in court for 2 days. Today they were off. They're coming back tomorrow. This week has been set aside for a suppression of evidence hearings, in which they're trying to suppress the key pieces of evidence that the Pennsylvania police gathered at that McDonald's. And one argument to say, well, why would they want to suppress it? He's certainly not denying what he did. He seems to be unrepentant and without any contrition, and thinks that what he did is a crusader on behalf of the working person left. So I don't know. On the other hand, they're raising constitutional Fourth Amendment arguments, which is you sat around for a half hour talking to our guy without reading him his Miranda rights. You questioned him, looked at his ID. You never got around to saying he doesn't have to talk to you without a lawyer. And then the minute you gave him those rights, 30 minutes later, you, without a warrant, you went in and started rifling through his backpack. And guess what? You found a gun and a 3D printer and more shell casings that are identical to the ones on the street that you were just talking about. That the police are saying, you see, we searched the right guy. We found the gun, the actual gun. And, with probable cause, the argument is that, look, the gun was not left on the streets of New York, so we had every reason to believe he was still carrying it. He's sitting in the back of a McDonald's. There's civilians all over the place and policemen. We want to make sure that he doesn't have he's not a danger to anyone. So that's really how the argument has been going the last couple of days.
Yeah, about 2 hours east of our station in Altoona, Pennsylvania. The manager of the McDonald's said he recognized him and called the police. A bizarre place to end up, I suppose. If you're hungry, maybe go through the drive-through. Yeah, so you can't be recognized inside the McDonald's.
And he was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So the other interesting thing, there were two things that were played in court of the tape. One was the video camera of the policeman, and the other was the recording on the 911 call. The 911 call is where the manager says, a woman came up to me very distressed. She thinks this is the guy, the shooter. And the police station said, shooter for what? Because, this is not New York, this is Pennsylvania. Right. He said, what shooter? He said, oh, no, there's a New York guy. And the minute he said the New York guy, you could hear someone in the back of McDonald's someone working in the Egg McMuffin area yell out, we need more bagels. So that,
we shouldn't be laughing about this, but yeah, that's,
I know, but
isn't life so weird?
The people in the courthouse laughed. I mean, everyone. Right. It was funny. You can actually hear people screaming at the manager, "We need more bagels." And then similarly, apparently, the 911 call, when the dispatcher called the policeman, they thought it was so ridiculous in Altoona that they would actually find that guy, the New York shooter, that they bet a hoagie on that it wouldn't be him. So I guess the policeman actually, he says, what if it is him? He goes, the dispatcher said, I'll buy you a hoagie if it's him. And sure enough, it was.
Yeah.
Well, real life is nuttier than any movie. It's I just have to jump in.
When you have a situation like that, and you talk to police officers and firemen and paramedics, that they have to laugh at times. Otherwise, they drive off a bridge on the way home, considering what they see during the course of a day.
Well, also, you've got a circus outside the court. You've already got a circus. You've got an alleged murderer who it doesn't seem to be repentant or hiding it, who has a fan base, a significant fan base, and a GoFundMe page. So there is something that's already farcical about it. And, unfortunately, the prosecution is going to keep their head down and proceed. They have I happen to know the guy's a first-rate prosecutor, and, they're not going to lose this case. I'll tell you that.
And his family is obviously paying for his attorney. It's not as if he has a public defender.
No, but I think he has. I could be wrong, Doug. I think he's raised enough money on his own through his fans, through a GoFundMe page. Nick will probably figure that out in a second.
No doubt.
But
once he's done,
I'm on it.
He does
placing
have
his bet on tonight's
He does
game.
have
Absolutely.
the money, but I thought that this is the example of the cult status that he's reached. That he's not only a heartthrob, but people are seeing him as a symbol of revolution, and that they should support his efforts, just like they should support all kinds of other examples of getting back at the government and America.
Yeah, we are talking with Thane Rosenbaum on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line about this case. You talked about statues earlier and people tearing down statues. And this is completely unrelated, but you'll get a kick out of this. Luciano Pavarotti, there's a statue for him in his hometown in Italy. I don't know if you heard, they've put an ice skating rink around it. And I guess he's knee deep in the ice, and his family's complaining about the fact they put an ice rink around the statue of Pavarotti. Which
are they complaining because they think the water damage will ruin the statue?
Well,
or
no,
they're
they think
just
it's
saying
disrespectful
indecent?
because his hands are out to the side like they always were when he was singing. And the mayor
he looks like he's asking for help.
The mayor encouraged people to high five him as they're skating around. Apparently,
That's funny.
And Nicoletta Montavani, that's a perfect. That's his last wife, as she's described. Perfect name for a wife for Luciano Pavarotti. Nicoletta Montavani is complaining about that. So somehow I had to tie in that statue story, which I read the other day.
Do well. You always find the right connection.
And I'm good at going off on tangents. And though there's so much violence in the world, sometimes this is a tragedy. Obviously, the family of the man that was murdered here. But at times, though, you have to see the humor and crazy stuff when you hear somebody in the background yelling at the man who's reporting a murder in his restaurant that they need more bagels.
Yeah,
at the same time.
no, I mean, it's a farce. The whole thing is a farce. And you're right. I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that no one could imagine he would be caught in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Right.
I have to admit, I'd never heard the city before. I never heard it. This is all new that he, it's pretty extraordinary that a woman sitting eating breakfast watched a young man wearing half of his face, only his eyebrows and his eyes that were and he was eating hash browns, apparently. That's what he was eating. And she ID'd him. I don't understand how she did that.
Yeah, in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where which is about 2/3 of the way between Pittsburgh and State College, to give you some sense, in South Central Pennsylvania. You may remember years ago there was a congressman who had some issues and controversies. Bud Schuster was his name. He's from Altoona. He was from Altoona. Then his son took his seat. So there's a connection to Altoona. In Pennsylvania. What was it? No, that was Johnstown, which is nearby. Famous place where a movie was done. But that's a whole nother story. Thane, we enjoy talking to you because we always go off on these tangents. And we have.
I'm always happy to go with you.
All right. We'll check back in with you at some point because we want to do our 2025 legal year in review discussion with you.
Yeah, we wouldn't miss that, Nick.
We'll be
not for the world.
Going to call me. He's going to call me for that one for sure.
Absolutely.
We'll be back in touch. And I think if we want to cover the big legal stories of the year, we need about 3.5 hours.
I would think so, at least.
Yeah, we'll condense it down to 13 minutes.
All right,
just be for 1 month.
Happy holidays.
All right,
bye, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care. Good friend. Outrageous. Tragedy, yes. A man was killed.
Yes, but real life is just
amazing. But the fact that this guy was found in an Altoona McDonald's.
It's amazing.
And he's not from the area.
No, he just ended up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and a woman sitting there notices him. Now, the guy had very unique hair.
Yes.
Very thick eyebrows.
And I hope they got more bagels in the back.
I hope they got more bagels
rush.
at that McDonald's. As crazy as this whole thing is. We're going to hit that CBS News brief coming up in about 10 seconds. Then we come back. We're going to talk TV 2025, the year in review with Rob Owen from the Tribune Review, also triblive.com. We'll check in with him in just a couple minutes. But first, let's go to New York.
CBS News Brief. The Pentagon's watchdog has found Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth put U.S. military personnel in danger when he used a signal messaging app to convey sensitive information about a strike in Yemen. Senator Jack Reed.
As I said at his confirmation hearing, I did not believe he had the competence, the temperament, and the experience to be Secretary of Defense, and he's proven that.
President Trump today announced he's easing federal emissions standards. Jeff Gilbert has reaction from Detroit.
Car makers say they'll continue to work to make vehicles more fuel efficient, but they say that has to be aligned with market realities.
National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett may be the clear favorite for the next Fed chair, here with CBS's Major Garrett.
Is that a job you'd like to have? I'd like to do what the president needs me to do.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. CBS News Brief. I'm Cammie McCormick.
The winners are in for the 2025 Best in Fayette contest presented by Nemacolin. You can pick up your free 2025-26 Best in Fayette book at the WMBS Broadcast House, the Uniontown Super 8, Casey Sports Cafe, the Uniontown Shop and Save, Perry Drug, Jackson Farms Dairy Store, Armstrong in Connellsville, the Casino at Nemacolin, Bittersweet Cafe, Neubauer's Market House, Uniontown Liquidation Outlet, and the River's Edge. See all the winners at bestinfayette.com.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
A Best in Fayette winner for tires and automotive service, Tireman's Auto Garage has the cheapest prices in town on new and used tires. They are also top automotive specialists for any car, any repair, offering diagnostic service, alignments, oil changes, state inspections, batteries, brakes and rotors, and more. The holidays are coming. That means cold weather and snow. Be ready. Be safe with new tires from Tireman's Auto Garage, where you'll find the lowest prices in town. Plus, ACIMA and Snap leasing available. If you've been past Tireman's recently, you've seen golf carts on the roof. Tireman's has a variety of 2, 4, and 6-seater golf carts, gas or electric, available for purchase with financing available. Interested in renting a golf cart? Call 724-425-9606 and ask about rentals. Or stop in and see Kim or Joe at Tireman's Auto Garage on Mill Street in Uniontown. Happy holidays from Kim and Joe at Tireman's Auto Garage, a Best in Fayette place for tires and auto service.
Thursday is another CR Braddock Group High School Sports Night here on WMBS. Join us for WPIL High School Boys Basketball action as the Uniontown Red Raiders travel to Thomas Jefferson to take on the Jaguars. I'm Brian Morozak. I'll have all the exciting play-by-play action for you, starting with our Sprouse Insurance Group pregame show at 6:40, with the opening tip-off between the Jaguars and the Red Raiders set for 7:30, and we'll have a live video stream on the WMBS YouTube page. That's WPIL High School Boys Basketball action, Uniontown at Thomas Jefferson, Thursday at 7:30 here on WMBS.
The State Theater Center for the Arts is reminding everyone, for many local children, the holidays are not joyous. So when you're out shopping, remember those less fortunate and pick up a special gift. Donate it to Toys for Tots and help make the season brighter for all of our children. This message from the State Theater Center for the Arts, where they're serving our community with quality and pride. The State Theater Center for the Arts in Uniontown. They're on the air because they care about our children, and they wish everyone a happy holiday season.
The low spark of High-Heeled Boys by Traffic. And not too much of traffic. Hopefully you weren't stuck in traffic the last few days with the bad weather we had. Doug Saltzman.
That might be one of the more unique names of a song ever. The Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys.
It's a great one. I love that song.
And
I love
that's
that name.
crazy album that they cut the corners off.
Yes, you're right.
Remember that album?
I do. I'm looking at it.
That's one of those albums I had back in the day when I got rid of my 400 albums, which I could probably retire on.
Did your mother get rid of
now,
them?
little by little, I'm buying them back.
Yeah.
I bought that album a few months ago. I found it at a thrift shop.
You're a thrifter.
Oh, I love being a thrifter, man. So, as I mentioned, we're doing people are getting sick of hearing it probably, we're doing our 2025 year in review. Now, around Thanksgiving, there's not a lot of Thanksgiving movies, although probably on Hallmark, there's 122 of them. But one of my favorite Thanksgiving theme shows has a few lines in it that have gone down an absolute legend in television. You'll recognize this right away.
Are you okay? I don't know. A man and his 2 children tried to kill me.
This, of course, is the WKRP episode, which aired right around Thanksgiving when Mr. Carlson, the station manager, decided to have a special. So let's listen to a couple seconds here.
How to describe it? It was like the turkeys mounted a counterattack. It was almost as if they were organized.
Here comes the great line.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
That, of course, is Mr. Carlson, the general manager of WKRP on that television show when he had a turkey promotion throwing turkeys out of a helicopter and because he thought they could fly. And if you look at a list of the top 10 comedy episodes of all time, that's always on them. And who better to know that sort of thing than our next guest, the Tribune Review, TribLive.com TV writer and critic, Rob Owen. Rob, thanks for joining us. Would you agree that that's one of the all-time great episodes in comedy television?
Yes, and I think whenever anyone thinks of Thanksgiving episodes, because there just aren't as many of those, it is the number one that always comes up.
Right, and I don't think I've ever, since that aired, not back in, what was it, like 77, 78, 79, that I haven't been at a Thanksgiving dinner where somebody just out of the blue says, as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Yes, and I see it on social media every year, that clip.
Right, and you can't miss it. It's one of those just classic, goofy things. And anybody in radio, you may not have all those people at your station, but you have some of them at your station. No doubt about it. But that it airs every year. And when it originally aired, there was a big stink among animal rights groups who said people are now going to try to do this. Not that everybody has access to a helicopter to drop turkeys. Right. But it was an all-time class. Well, we appreciate your joining us today to talk about TV in 2025, and I'm always very impressed by your willingness to tell people what you know about television or what you don't know. I was just reading your most recent column when folks write into you, and somebody asked who the 3 women were in a commercial who were sliding down on sleds. Elderly women. I'm like, wow, of all the questions to ask, that's a unique one. And you managed to track them down, one of which you wrote back that the woman did a movie that was filmed in Pittsburgh that you never heard of, and I'd never heard of it either. I thought I knew all the Pittsburgh movies. But
it was a low budget one, so we're forgiven.
It wasn't Flashdance, for instance, or
it was not.
Oh, what a feeling. Yeah, that's right. Nick, don't sit over there in the chair and let water fall on you.
No,
okay?
I
wouldn't
won't.
be able to handle that. But that gives you some idea, though, of how much people focus in and pay attention, that somebody wanted to know who the woman in the sled on the far right was because she thought she recognized that person. But as you said in that column, it's very difficult to determine who actors are in commercials.
Yeah, because it's not like they have publicists. You know, TV shows have publicists, and you at least have a fighting chance of getting an answer that way. But with a commercial, unless you know the agency that made the ad, which, you know, I don't, that's not my bailiwick. So I was luckily able to find some other people who had done sleuthing on the internet and benefit from what they had found. But yeah, commercials, not the easiest things to track down.
And there are no credits following the end of a commercial either.
No.
That you might be able to track that down. But that gives you some idea, as I just mentioned a moment ago, that people just focus and you know, how interested they are in something like that. Oh, who are these people? You know,
right.
She looked familiar to me. Is that true? Who that was? Or I was flipping through the channels and on came Love Boat, and there was Tom Hanks. Now, usually people got on Love Boat at the end of their career. This is at the beginning of his career, probably when he was doing Bosom Buddies. You know, it's funny how those shows, Nick and I were joking earlier that at some point or another, most people in Hollywood were either on Love Boat or Murder, She Wrote.
Yes.
and they always seem to pop up on shows like that. That's what's sort of interesting about shows like that, and Barney Miller and Seinfeld, where they would have these one character or one episode characters who just seem to blend right into the show.
Right, yeah. And, when you find a really good character actor, and if the character is written really well, they can make an impression. I know the woman who played Jan Brady in the Brady Bunch movies, and she had a role as a nurse on Will and Grace. And I still see people talking about that character, and it's been, 20 years since that show was in its original run. So yes, character actors can definitely make a difference in a TV show if they're given a substantive, well-written, memorable role.
Putting me at geek level here, I will watch at the end of a television episode and see someone's name who played a character and look that person up to see what else they may have done. And you'll find out, let's say they were on Barney Miller 5 different times as 4 different characters.
Right.
That sort of thing. Were they under contract, for instance, or that they had to do so many characters on that show? I mean, there was a time when you had contracts with movie studios back in the heyday, the golden era. Did that happen on TV?
I don't know for sure. I suspect that it did at some point in time, but I think by the time Barney Miller came along, that would not have been the case. But I do think that unless it was an extra, like sometimes extras, I know on Star Trek The Next Generation, I knew somebody who was an extra on that, and they would be contracted for a certain number of episodes per season, but those were typically non-speaking roles. So, for speaking roles, I think those tend to be just one-offs, but I'm sure there are actors, New York actors especially, who've been on multiple Law and Orders, which even though they're in the same universe, playing different characters.
Because it's been on for decades, for heaven's sakes.
Exactly, and there are so many.
And people say, I remember him from before. I guess people aren't going to turn it off because they say, wait a minute, the last time he was the assistant prosecutor, this time he's the murderer. How could that be?
Right.
I don't think people are all that concerned about that sort of continuity, I suppose. But let's talk about 2025 and what happened in TV. That may have shocked some people. Of course, one of the shows I watch regularly was not Law and Order, was Blue Bloods, which I think surprised a lot of people when CBS ended that series. It was rated very highly, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one actually ended in 2024, but what we got this year was the Blue Bloods spinoff, Boston Blue, which took the Donnie Wahlberg character and moved him to Boston, paired him with a new partner, and then that new partner, her whole family, is sort of the backbone of that series, just as Donnie Wahlberg's character's family was the backbone of the original Blue Bloods. And I think Boston Blue has done a pretty commendable job of sort of recreating the feeling of that you got from watching Boston Blue, thanks to the family interactions.
Yeah, and although I don't remember there being any dogs in the background on
that's
show.
Just my dog.
That's okay. That's what we like about live radio. These things happen. Big deal. But yeah, the Donnie work, and again, people identifying with people and their characters. There was criticism early on of the new show because Donnie Wahlberg's character's son, his younger son from Blue Bloods, that character is in the new show, but it's a different actor. And
it is.
And people are saying, why didn't they bring the old guy? Or the other guy from the other show?
It's like all the Beckys on Roseanne back in the day.
Right. I think there were 4.
There were a lot of them.
Yeah. But, it's not exactly a new Darren,
that was tragic. I'm still getting over that.
Yeah, that's right. New Darren on Bewitched. Or a new Lionel on Jeffersons. But people do identify, and that's what they catch. Like, wait, that's not the same actor who played before.
Right. And that is something people notice. And I think nowadays shows try to, except soap operas, of course, most shows try to avoid that recasting. But, sometimes it's just inevitable. Stranger Things, they just recast a little girl character, the younger sister of one of the main actors, probably because, it takes, 3 years to make a new season of that show. And she'd probably grown too much, or they just needed someone with better acting chops than what previous seasons demanded. So occasionally you will see that happen still in prime time, but it is it is more the exception than the rule. They're more likely just to write a character off if they can get away with it.
I was watching a few episodes of Last Man Standing, and after it was canceled on ABC, came back on Fox, they actually played it into the actual episode about how a show switched from one network to another, and how could that ever happen? And
right.
That's exactly what happened. And of course, the one actress changed but had the same character, and everybody's saying, "Hey, you look terrific. I like the new look."
Right.
But I guess instead of just trying to get away with it, played into the episode, people realize this is a new person, but it's the same character. So of things in 2025, what impressed you or caught your attention that happened in this TV year that just caught your attention?
So, I think that when we look back at 2025, we see that there has been, we're still getting many, many, many TV shows, but it is not the height of peak TV anymore. We are on the downslope of that. It's still a lot of TV shows, probably at least 300, 400, but it's not as many as it once had been. I think we see a little bit more this year probably than last year, because I think last year was more strike affected. But, there's a lot of programs that in the streaming space, you are seeing a lot of those high-quality serialized shows continuing to happen. But when you look at broadcast, you are much more likely to get episodic shows. And that's been a trend that's been ongoing, and it's continuing, that they have sort of gone back to the old style of prime time, where it's more self-contained episodes, with probably some running storylines, but not the high degree of serialization, which has sort of become the domain of premium cable and mostly streaming these days. So that's one thing I would say. And then, I'm working on my top 10 list for the year that will be published a little later this month. And certainly somewhere high on that list is going to be Pluribus, which is the new show from Vince Gilligan, who did Breaking Bad and then Better Call Saul. It's a genius show. It's on Apple TV Plus, though, so a lot of people have not seen it. But it is, a way to look at somebody's career and say, well, he was not a one-trick pony. This is the first non-Breaking Bad universe thing that he's done in like 20 years, and it's really, really good.
Yeah. What's fascinating, too, is how much television changed. Fewer and fewer people are using cable, and so they're going with things like YouTube TV. And at one point, a friend of mine canceled her cable, got YouTube TV, says, I can't get Channel 4. And I said, I think there's a contract negotiation right now regarding that. So that can happen. Generally, they work it out, but you can lose it, whether it's cable or whether it's something like YouTube TV.
Right, and there was a new wrinkle in that this year, too, because typically with the cable companies, if they are in a dispute with NBC, but your local affiliate is owned by Cox, not NBC, then you won't lose your NBC affiliate from your lineup if the dispute is with NBC. But with YouTube TV, the networks negotiate on behalf of all the affiliates. So that is why, even though the dispute was between YouTube and Disney, people in Pittsburgh still lost WTAE, even though it's not a Disney-owned station. It's a Hearst-owned station. So that's a little bit in the weeds, but it is something that we saw for the first time this year that is a differentiator from past years when those retransmission disputes happened.
And of course, I'm one of those guys that have given up cable TV. I have so many channels that come streaming, even the free ones. I lose track. But the names seem to change a lot. So I have to reprogram my TV, and I'm like, what happened to that station? I thought that was on something called, I don't know, what you lose track after a while, what all these streaming channels are called. Venue or what have you, and I'm like, I thought that was on that one, but the name changed, and now I've got a little icon on my screen that says no longer in service, even though it's still sitting on it'll be on my screen when I pull it up. But this idea of these things constantly changing too, I guess, is media mergers and whatnot, correct?
It's some of that. It depends a little bit what you're talking about. If you're talking about a streaming service, or it sounds more likely that you might be talking about digital sub-channels.
Right.
So I know there was one that was called TBD that changed its name to Roar, and then it got dropped by one of the local cable companies after the name change happened. And there have been others that have changed names, or they've moved channels. And yes, there's a lot of change with the digital sub-channels, especially because those tend to be sort of afterthought and a little bit fly-by-night operations, kind of like low-power stations. And so they don't do the best job of getting the word out when there's a change coming.
Yeah, I do see that on those sub-channels. I also, since I do have internet, I have all these, Roku channels that seem to be endless. Who would think there'd be a day when there'd be an entire channel completely committed to, I don't know, Charlie's Angels or the Carol Burnett Show?
Right. Yep.
You could literally watch every Carol Burnett show in 5 days' time if you wanted to, and they keep playing them over and over and over again. And of course, on the national level, something like MSNBC was spun off into a new network on its own, I suppose. And of course, that's where the Rachel Maddow show is, one of their highest-ranking shows, rated shows, I should say. But all these change. I guess that's just the world we live in now. Since we're
the only thing we can count on is change, and certainly we're going to see changes in the next year or two, depending on what happens with Warner Brothers Discovery, which is up for sale and has Paramount wanting it, Comcast wanting it, Netflix even putting in a bid for it. And so what happens with that? Will we lose a major legacy studio again, which is what happened when Disney bought Fox? That's going to have impacts that are going to ripple through the media ecosystem, both on the streaming and TV side and on the film side, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm always amazed when you see these changes. It really has hit KDKA TV2 in Pittsburgh that they've lost so many anchors and longtime reporters, etc. There were complaints that they were firing only women, what it seemed at one point. But at Pittsburgh, the market has changed so much where this now seems to be simply a stepping stone media market compared now. For the first time ever, they say there were reporters coming on TV stations in Pittsburgh who were right out of college. And that never happened before. They were always somewhere else first before they came to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that is true. It was very rare in the past. I think one of the few who did it prior to the past decade.
Sunny Abada.
Sunny Abada at KDKA. And that turned out great. I mean, she was a great hire for them. She did a fantastic job. And not to say that you can't come out of college and not be good at being a reporter, but, I was at a smaller newspaper before I was at newspapers in Pittsburgh, and I think that probably benefited me. And I think the same thing is true of people who work in TV, that it's probably better to get your sea legs in a smaller market before you come to a market as large as Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Two more questions for you real quick, and we'll let you go, and you've given us extra time. We appreciate it. We always talk about the Grammy Awards have forever been on broadcast TV. Will it ever get to the point where something like the Grammys is not on broadcast TV, but it is only, say, on a streaming channel?
I think we might get an answer to that in the not-too-distant future. It's the Emmys that they have been in a deal.
So I said Grammy. I meant Emmy. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Emmys or Grammys. I mean, but I think that we're going to get I think Grammys just made a deal not that long ago, but the Emmy deal, which was on a wheel where it rotated among the broadcast channels, that deal is up after next September's Emmy Awards, I believe. And so that will be interesting to watch and see do the broadcasters even still want it, since their shows never get nominated, or could a streaming service swoop in and take over the Emmys? I don't know what's going to happen there, but I think the Oscars are safe. I think the Grammys are probably safe on broadcast, but the Emmys, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Last question that I wanted to ask you too: are we getting to the point where we may have to pay to watch the Super Bowl? It just seems like that's inevitable.
I don't think that's going to happen in the next 5 years. I won't say it's not going to happen in the next 20 years, but I don't think it'll happen in the next 5 years. They've been pretty good. The NFL has been pretty good about, even when shows are on streaming, that they make those games available in the home markets of the team playing on broadcast linear television. So I don't know. Maybe it'll happen, but I think it'll be a while before it does.
Yeah. Again, joining us on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line from the Trib, Tribune Review, TribLive.com, TV writer Rob Owen. Rob, thanks so much. You've joined us several times throughout 2025. We appreciate the retrospective interview right now, talking about the year in review. Thanks so much, Rob. You have a good holiday.
You too. Always happy to talk TV.
All right. Thank you. Rob Owen knows his stuff. Let's take a break. We'll wrap up our hour number 2. We're with you till 8 o'clock tonight. Stick around.
Join WMBS this Saturday from 10 to 12 noon as we broadcast live from the parking lot at Neubauer's Market House. Enjoy coffee and donuts as we come together to make Christmas brighter for others with your donations of new toys for Toys for Tots, toys, diapers, or monetary gifts for Hope's House, and pet supplies for Fayette Friends of Animals. WMBS and the prize wheel will be there. You be there too. That's this Saturday, December 6th from 10 to noon at Neubauer's Market House, 36 East Church Street, Uniontown. Relay for Life's annual Christmas tree raffle is going on now at the South Union Sports Complex on Pennsylvania Avenue next to OC Cluss. Chances to win one of 116 fully decorated trees are just $2. Bring a new toy for Toys for Tots and get 2 more chances for each toy donated. The winner will be drawn December 13th. So stop in the South Union Sports Complex Monday through Saturday from 10 to 8, Sunday 11 to 6 for chances on 116 trees benefiting Relay for Life.
Chris Parker Jr., it's the holiday season, time for giving thanks, and the most wonderful time of the year as we go over the river and through the woods.
0% financing for 60 months on all new 25 and 26 Tucsons and Santa Fe's is really something to be thankful for.
I'm listening.
0% for 60 months and the Hyundai Getaway sales event make it the perfect time to travel to family gatherings in these capable SUVs. Like the Santa Fe with third row seating for up to 7 passengers and 0% financing for 60 months. Or up to $4,500 HMF bonus cash.
Tell me more.
We still have a great selection of new 25s at pre-tariff prices, plus Black Friday specials with employee pricing all month long.
And every new Hyundai purchase includes Hyundai Assurance, America's Best warranty with 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain protection and 3-year free complimentary maintenance. Autoland Hyundai, downtown Uniontown, or online at AutolandHyundai.com.
And you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
439-2323. For 24-hour emergency service, call us when you need. We're Fayette's Heating and Air Conditioning, your service company.
Be prepared for bone-chilling winter weather. Have Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning install a Bryant high-efficiency furnace in your home to replace that old worn-out system you now have. Choose Bryant's Plus 90 gas furnace or other quality heating system to keep yourself and your family warm and toasty this winter. Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning will also keep your present furnace running at peak efficiency with their 15-point safety check and cleaning. Call Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning today for your appointment. 724-439-2323. That's Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, your Bryant dealer, Route 119 north of Uniontown, located near Laurel Mall.
Call Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, 439-2323, 439-2323, 439-2323, 439-2323.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
News is next on your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
Pentagon Signal Gate findings.
Well, this is an absolutely damning report.
Twin Cities immigration operation.
We stand firm and rock solid with the Somali people.
Rolling back new fuel economy standards.
Today we're taking one more step to kill the Green New Scam.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Pentagon's internal watchdog finds Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's Signal chat earlier this year violated regulations. CBS's Emily Watson.
Sources tell us that the report found that Hegseth did potentially endanger troops and the mission against the Houthis in Yemen in March when he shared these sensitive details over Signal. That's according according to a source familiar and a U.S. official.
The White House stands by the defense secretary, saying the review affirms that no classified information was leaked and operational security was not compromised. CBS News military consultant and retired U.S. Army Colonel Jeff McCausland.
They can say that all they want to, but the simple facts and the reports that have been released on the IG investigation do not substantiate their statements whatsoever.
A classified version of the Inspector General's report has been sent to Congress. An unredacted version is expected to be released tomorrow. President Trump again criticizes Minnesota's Somali community as federal authorities launch a targeted immigration enforcement operations there, focusing on Somali immigrants in the U.S. illegally. Local Somali leaders and allies push back against Trump's plans.
I've been here since 1994. I was only 3 years old when I came, and this is my home, and this has got to stop.
Meantime, Homeland Security has officially launched an immigration enforcement operation in New Orleans. Customs and Border Patrol's Greg Bovino is there and tells CBS's Katie Weiss that they've so far detained a lot of individuals.
We expect to see about 200 agents here over the next couple of weeks making several arrests, not only in New Orleans, but also across the Louisiana and Mississippi Gulf Coast.
President Trump is rolling back new vehicle fuel economy standards set by his predecessor.
President Trump attacked the standards that were put in place during the Biden administration.
These policies forced automakers to build cars using expensive technologies that drove up costs, drove up prices.
The president says rolling back those fuel efficiency standards will save money.
The action is expected to save the typical consumer at least $1,000 off the price of a new car.
Republican lawmakers and automotive industry leaders praised the president's action, while others say it represents a major setback in the battle against air-polluting greenhouse gas emissions. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A U.S. official says top Trump envoys will meet with a Ukraine negotiator in Florida tomorrow. Stocks rise on Wall Street. Now this.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select Steel tools. Shop online at steelusa.com or in-store.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
President Trump pardons Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar of Texas and his wife in a federal bribery and conspiracy case.
I want to thank President Trump for this action that he took. On behalf of my wife and my family, I want to say thank you.
Trump says without presenting evidence that Cuellar and his wife Imelda were prosecuted because the congressman had been critical of former President Biden's immigration policies. A California doctor will do prison time for his role in an actor's death. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
Dr. Salvador Plasencia was sentenced to 30 months in prison for supplying ketamine to Friends star Matthew Perry. In a statement, his legal team said, quote, Mr. Plasencia accepts the court's sentence today with humility and deep remorse. It goes on to read, he is not a villain. He is someone who made serious mistakes in his treatment decisions involving the off-label use of ketamine.
4 others charged are set to be sentenced in the coming months. You're listening to the CBS World News Roundup.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
Thursday is another CR Braddock Group High School Sports Night here on WMBS. Join us for WPIL High School boys basketball action as the Uniontown Red Raiders travel to Thomas Jefferson to take on the Jaguars. I'm Brian Morozak. I'll have all the exciting play-by-play action for you, starting with our Sprouse Insurance Group pregame show at 6:40, with the opening tip-off between the Jaguars and the Red Raiders set for 7:30, and we'll have a live video stream on the WMBS YouTube page. That's WPIL High School boys basketball action, Uniontown at Thomas Jefferson, Thursday at 7:30 here on WMBS.
You might remember him as the guitarist in the Blues Brothers movie. Steve Cropper was also a member of Stax Records' Booker T and the MGs, and his son tells Variety that his father has died at the age of 84. Cropper co-wrote classic songs including Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay and In the Midnight Hour. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and won a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award as part of Booker T and the MGs. $22.5 million worth of meth has been found hidden in pallets of berries inside box trucks in Hall County, Georgia. U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg.
Approximately 1,600 pounds of deadly Mexican cartel-trafficked methamphetamine, which remains a significant scourge in our community.
2 men have been arrested and are facing federal drug trafficking charges. Time on the roundup, 7 minutes past the hour.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-497-0593. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-497-0593. That's 800-497-0593. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Someone has been posting instructions to create deepfake pornography on the website of Indiana's Health Department. CBS's Michael Wallace with more.
The PDF files explain how to use AI tools to create porn and AI girlfriends. Indiana officials detected the surge in bot activity 2 weeks ago and have been scrambling to delete all the files, but several of them still appear on Google searches. Scott Shackelford is a cybersecurity expert at Indiana University.
We are seeing just the proliferation of these tools and unfortunately, this type of content.
Similar files have shown up on the websites of Nevada's Department of Transportation and Kansas's Attorney General. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Delta Airlines estimates that it lost $200 million due to the longest government shutdown on record, but CEO Ed Bastian says he's optimistic about strong bookings through the end of the year. That's the World News Roundup Late Edition for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. I'm Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Take the fact book.
Caring for an aging parent or a loved one with medical needs? FACT, Fayette Area Coordinated Transportation, can help. Seniors 65 and older ride free on our fixed routes. People with disabilities get discounted shared rides. And if your loved one has medical assistance, their trips to doctors or treatment are covered under the shared ride program. Give them safe, reliable independence and yourself peace of mind. Call 724-628-RIDE or visit factbus.com. FACT, your community, your connection. Looking for a dentist? Dr. Michael George and Dr. Ashley Parker of George Dental Associates, a Uniontown staple, has over 40 years' experience treating patients of all ages. Their caring, professional team of dentists and their staff offer a full range of dental services, including restorative, preventative, pediatric, cosmetic, and so much more. Visit GeorgeDentalAssociates.com today. That's GeorgeDentalAssociates.com and find out how they can enhance your smile through the art of dentistry.
Thursday is another CR Braddock Group High School Sports Night here on WMBS. Join us for WPIL High School boys basketball action as the Uniontown Red Raiders travel to Thomas Jefferson to take on the Jaguars. I'm Brian Morozak. I'll have all the exciting play-by-play action for you, starting with our Sprouse Insurance Group pregame show at 6:40, with the opening tip-off between the Jaguars and the Red Raiders set for 7:30, and we'll have a live video stream on the WMBS YouTube page. That's WPIL High School boys basketball action, Uniontown at Thomas Jefferson, Thursday at 7:30 here on WMBS.
Well, it's time to trim the tree and maybe win some extra holiday green. Starting Thursday, just be the 6th caller to 724-438-4593 whenever you hear,
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
and you'll win 10 $3 Trim the Tree scratch-off tickets from the Pennsylvania Lottery, bursting with cheer and 5 top prizes of $30,000. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Attention Medicare eligible recipients. The Medicare open enrollment period for 2026 runs from October 15th until December 7th. This is the time to call local agent Brenda Myers at 724-437-7255 and let her show you the various Medicare Advantage plans and Part D prescription drug plans and see which best fits your current healthcare needs and your budget. Brenda will also update you on the changes for 2026 and how they will affect you. With many years' experience, Brenda Myers can help you decide which plan will work best for you. Brenda Myers has been helping Medicare beneficiaries with their healthcare insurance for many years and represents a variety of companies to offer you more choices. This open enrollment period is your opportunity to make changes to your healthcare plan and save money. Call Brenda Myers today at 724-437-7255. That's 724-437-7255 for Brenda Myers.
Hour 3 of the afternoon drive show in your local station, WMBS Uniontown. Cold one out there. I think we're looking at what now? 26 degrees, Nick? I can't see the temperature over there.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right. 28 degrees, feels like 27. The other day I saw a feels like temperature that was higher than it was. Like it was 34 degrees but felt like 35. How can that be in the middle of winter?
Got to get a meteorologist
High
on.
humidity on?
You're
I'm not
friends
sure.
with a lot of folks at Penn State.
Yeah, we'll get the Penn State folks on, but we
Absolutely.
won't do that today. We do have open talk right now, by the way. We were talking earlier, of course, on the year 2025 and what we were talking about, what happened in TV, what's happened in technology, what's happened in politics at the local level, at the national level with Finn Gomez. We're going to talk in about 20 minutes at the local, regional, and statewide level with John Delano, who's now the retired Money and Politics editor for KDKA TV2. We'll talk to him coming up. But in the meantime, open talk on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, 724-438-4593. We'll also get you an update coming up in about 10 minutes from Radio PA as well. But if you want to call in, talking about 2025, your memories of 2025, whether they're personal, whether they're national, whether the impact. But we try to do that throughout the month of December.
And not too personal, not your colonoscopy.
Yeah, we don't
not
want to hear
your
about your colonoscopies or anything like that.
colorectal exam.
Yeah, we don't want that, but give us a call on the talk line, 724-438-4593, and join us.
And nothing sad like you ran over your dog by accident. We don't want to hear that.
Speaking of running over dogs.
Oh, wow. What a segue.
Waymo, which is the driverless taxi service, which is now going to be, it started at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, right here in southwestern PA.
Those kids are very smart.
And now it's going to be expanded. They're going to be testing it in downtown Pittsburgh. I've been in a driverless cab. It is strange.
I bet.
It pulls up, you hop in, and off you go. And I've been in them when the driver's sitting there not doing anything, but I've been in one where it's on its own. And it made the news the other day, and we were talking about this technology with with Larry Maggot. I was going to say our friend Larry Maggot. That always sounds hokey when you say that sort of
Little
thing.
bit.
Yeah. And I guess a couple dogs were hit recently by dogs are hit all the time by cars.
They are, unfortunately.
And yeah, I don't know. Can you have technology that you can avoid them? I mean, people hit deer all the time. My dad hit so many deer. Pardon?
People hit other people.
That too. My dad hit so many deer. We suggested he start wearing orange while driving his minivan.
That's it.
But I don't know if that's a reason to. If you were to eliminate driving vehicles, driverless or with a person because they hit animals, you wouldn't have any cars on the road. We once had a dog got hit by a car. I was more worried about the driver. He was in hysterics with his girlfriend. I rushed my kids inside. I thought the dog was dead.
Yeah.
Dog had a small contusion. Cost us about $700 at the vet and $1,500 damage to the truck.
Oh, my gosh. That's a big bill.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
But yeah, it's. I recall a buddy of mine. I said, "I'm going to pay $1,500 for fix this truck because of this damn dog."
Yeah, really. I mean, dogs are great and all, but
yeah. So, and a buddy of mine said his son was riding down the street doing wheelies on his bicycle, lost control, hit the neighbor's car, broke the driver's side window, and ripped the side view mirror off the car.
Oh, kids! What
And
are you
I
gonna
said
do?
that must have cost you a fortune. He said it didn't cost. It cost me. He said his homeowners covered it.
Is that right?
Yeah. He said, check into that. The homeowners covered the damage to that car.
Cover the damage to the car
From the dog.
That's interesting.
From the dog getting
Wow.
hit. Then so we take the dog to the vets. My wife did, and she calls back and said they want to keep it overnight for observation. I said, how much? I said $1,200. I'm like, bring it home
for one night.
You're a nurse. Can't you
Yeah.
observe? Doesn't this dog have a DNR for crying out loud?
Nurse the dog back to health.
Yeah. Yeah. No, bring the dog home. We'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I thought that dog got hit, went about 30 feet in the air.
Oh my gosh, you saw
Not
it?
up in the air. Oh yeah, I saw it. It was ugly and sounded awful, and the dog was fine.
Wow.
A
They're
little
resilient.
contusion on its lung.
They're resilient.
Yeah, they are tough sons of a gun. Watching my daughter's dog, she's heading off out of town.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Paris again, or was that another daughter?
Same daughter. No, let's see. She's been in Paris, her and her husband. She's been in London, Iceland.
Oh my gosh, she gets around.
Germany.
Yeah.
In fact, she's on a plane right now heading over the Pacific.
Oh my gosh, what a life. Good for her. And her old
Young.
man's here doing the radio show.
Doing well. No kids yet. I think they're getting all this stuff in till the kids show up.
Yeah.
When suddenly it's complicated just to go to Home Depot.
That's right. If they want children, don't force children on them. I know parents do that.
No, grandparents do it. I'm forcing
That's
them.
what I mean. Well,
I keep telling them, if they don't have a grandkid for me soon, the first time I play peekaboo, I'll probably have a stroke.
Well, there's that. We don't want to see that. And that's the great thing. You have 4 children, so not all of them are obligated to have kids. Thankfully, my sister has 2, so I'm off the
There
hook.
you go.
I wasn't having
you got
them,
your
so.
nephews. I was able to hold my new great nephew on Thanksgiving. And the guy is the classic, looks like the Michelin Man.
Yeah.
Like all babies should be fat. He's
Yeah.
like roly-poly. He's
that's good.
He's so chubby. He's eating very well.
Well, that's good. Eating and
It was
sleeping.
good to
and
see them. Got the whole gang together on Thanksgiving. Saw my niece, my nephew, my other niece, her husband and kids. So it was a good time on Thanksgiving.
Well, there you
At
go.
my brother's house. My daughter showed up afterwards. We had a good time.
That's awesome.
I had 4 different leftover meals, including the cold turkey sandwich, white bread, little salt, slice of Swiss cheese, some lettuce. Oh,
white bread.
I'm living.
You are, man. I actually, yes, I had 2 dinner rolls at Thanksgiving dinner.
The
and
great
it was like
disappearing Nick Barczyk, who's lost now, 90 pounds?
90, 20 more to go. And yeah, it was like the meme with the woman screaming. That's what it felt like. But you had to. I didn't have any pie or anything like that. I'm not a pie or sweet guy anyway. But I had some rolls, and it was delicious. Boy,
Absolutely.
bread is good, Doug.
That turkey.
Breaking
Turkey's
news.
good. What? Yes, bread is good.
Breaking news, bread is good. Sky is blue.
Even Oprah went doing all her commercials for what she was the spokesman for
Weight Watchers.
Weight
Which
Watchers.
they had to
She
change
said,
the name to WW because even watching your weight's controversial.
Weight Watchers is 3 syllables. WW is 6 syllables.
Exactly.
Wouldn't it have been quicker to be Weight Watchers?
But I think they didn't want to have stigma on watching your weight. I don't know what their theory was.
What's that, fat shaming or
I
something?
guess. I mean, it's such a weird country where getting healthy is looked down upon now. Anyway, yeah, WW. So whatever.
But she used to say, yes, I love bread. You're going to have bread with my diet. I'm not giving up bread.
Oh, that's good.
So
Good for her.
got to do that.
Well, if I'm taking health advice from anyone, it's Oprah Winfrey.
Back in
She also famously gives marriage and parenting advice when she's been single and no kids her whole life. So I have a little skepticism about her.
Back
Go
in
ahead.
my college days, me and my buddies would get like a pound of butter and a loaf of Italian bread and sit there and eat the whole thing. Yeah.
Wow. Under the influence of a drug, maybe,
No,
because
of
that
course
makes you
not.
hungry?
No.
Really? You get a loaf of bread and butter and eat it. Wow, that's...
When you're in college, unless there's some club that night selling wings, which is always big. Yeah, somebody's always selling wings on campus.
Yeah.
And you could eat that or go to the cafeteria and put on weight.
College life.
I went to college in the fall, actually in late August of 1981. Came home at 157 pounds.
Wow.
Came home for Thanksgiving 175. I put on 18 pounds in like 2.5 months.
That's amazing.
That's all you did was eat.
That's true. 157 at one point. Wow.
In high school.
Oh, in high school, yeah.
That's nothing. That's nothing. But yeah, Nick, you're below me now. I went
trying.
from 227 down to 192, but I'm up to like 201.
No, that's about where I am, 199.
So, yeah, my goal is to get down to 185.
180 would be
So,
mine.
Nick and I, but you've lost a heck of a lot more. You're much more committed than I am. I
Well-
just cut back on how much I eat. You've been exercising like crazy.
Yeah, I like to run now and lifting a little and Pilates, hot yoga, me and the middle-aged housewives down at the yoga barn. No, I'm making all that up. But no, the running I'm enjoying.
Candlelight yoga.
Candlelight yoga.
I saw that on a sign in front of a church not far from where I live.
Wow, a church does candlelight yoga. Very
Candlelight
hip and liberal of
yoga.
them. That's amazing.
I don't know what that is.
I don't want to know.
No,
I mean, I would
you
go
could get
in.
burned, I would think.
I would think you would get too close to the candle
Yeah,
wax.
there's yoga, there's the Pilates.
Yeah, all that crap.
I once bought my then wife I didn't mean it as an insult, or it wasn't editorial, a Pilates DVD. She got very offended.
Oh, I'm sure.
I
Because
didn't
if you
mean it as
suggest-
anything, just
no, just something to do.
something
Yeah,
to do, right.
You weren't suggesting she
it came up
needed
during
to-
the divorce proceedings.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Yeah, no, not really. But yeah, it's you want to get thin, you don't want to get too thin, because you've been
Well-
warned by some of our staff here. You should not get too thin.
Well, Doreen's worried about me. God
Doreen,
love her.
the woman who runs the entire place, is concerned that you're losing too much weight.
Yes, which I guess is a thing, but yeah, she's sweet and doesn't want to see me willed away, which is not going to happen.
You turn sideways, they can barely see you.
Well, thank you, Doug. I appreciate it.
So is
thank
that-
you for the birthday and anniversary wishes
my
as
gosh,
well.
you're coming up. Nick's birthday is next.
Oh, enough about me. Will somebody call in
no,
and
we'll
change
talk
the
about
subject?
that. Next Wednesday?
It is Monday, the 8th.
Next Monday,
I was-
and then 2 days later is your 15th anniversary with the station.
Absolutely. December 8th, famous for the day John Lennon was shot dead. And December 10th, famous for the day that I started at the station. I'm sure something else happened on that day. But yeah. Anyway,
I wonder what happened on December 10th. We'll have to look that one up.
it was 2 days after the Immaculate Conception. That was also on the 8th, right?
Immaculate Conception.
Yes.
Right. Yeah,
Mary and
I know that.
Jesus,
Yeah,
not the
I used
Immaculate
to do the
Reception.
schedule
That's
for our
football.
church, St. Elizabeth, for lectors, people who would read scripture at the Mass. And I would type in, if it was a special holiday, and I sent out the schedule to everybody the one year and said Immaculate Reception, not realizing what I had typed.
Yeah.
The priest always approved it, missed it, and it went out, and people said, was this a joke? I'm like, well, what a joke. They said, you put Immaculate Reception.
That's pretty great. That's pretty good, Doug.
And that I did not mean it.
No.
And when they
course
came
not.
up with that term for the Steelers, when Franco Harris, of course, caught that ball and won the Steelers' first playoff game ever.
Yeah, in 72, Myron Cope came up with it the next day, maybe on the radio.
And at the time, Art Rooney Sr., contacted the Bishop of Pittsburgh, who I think at the time was Bishop Leonard, and said, is this okay?
He did, really?
That we're calling it. Obviously,
Maybe I
the
knew
Rooney's
that.
deeply Catholic.
Yeah.
Devoutly Catholic family. And they said, sure, that's fine.
Yeah, why not?
The bishop said, yes.
Well, that's
it's
good.
fine.
They got the approval.
Yeah. And what was amazing about that, though, it's probably talked more about now than when it happened at the time, because 8 days later, and a lot of people forget this, Roberto Clemente was killed.
Yeah, it was a
8
crazy
days.
week in the area.
8 days after the Immaculate Reception, nobody thought about football.
No.
Everybody thought about the loss of the great Roberto Clemente. Most people forget that. Until last year, when it was hit the 50th anniversary of both, most people forgot those were 8 days apart.
That is amazing.
My mom said she actually thought about sending me to the guidance counselor at school because I was so distraught over Clemente's
Wow.
death.
He was a legend, man.
Yeah,
That's an understatement.
Back in the day, man, Roberto Clemente, just an absolute hero for the young kids. And even then, you knew he did good stuff.
Sure.
You know, he wasn't just a ball player.
Yeah, that's what took his life. He was a humanitarian.
Right.
And,
And,
an amazing guy, obviously.
And one of his friends was going to be on the plane with him, and he said, no, it's New Year's. Stay with your family. And, of course, that was Neil Walker's dad.
Yeah, Tom.
Tom Walker was going to be on that plane.
So Neil owes his existence to Roberto
Right.
Clemente.
And I think Tom Walker just died in this.
Oh, did he? No.
Maybe
I'm sorry
I
to
better
hear
check
that.
before I say that.
Well, there's that.
Why don't we take a break now? We're going to get that PA radio PA update. We'll come back, give you an update on the forecast as well.
Zen's Antiques and Home Decor, part of the Cinder Shack family of vendors, where you can find both antique and new furniture, collectibles, housewares, gift items, including jewelry and candles, and so much more. Follow Zen's Antiques and Home Decor on Facebook for new items and information on upcoming events. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor in Building 2 at 3391 National Pike in Farmington. Zen's Antiques and Home Decor.
This is a Radio PA News Update.
One teenager is dead and another is injured after a shooting in Luzerne County. Police say the teens were shot outside of a business on Center Street early Tuesday morning. An 18-year-old was killed while the 15-year-old is recovering in the hospital. The investigation is ongoing. Owners of a Pittsburgh eatery are asking residents for information after seeing multiple break-ins over the last month. The operators of Leon's Caribbean Restaurant posted to Facebook yesterday saying their building was burglarized twice and a generator was stolen from their food truck, all within the last several weeks. The restaurant has been in the city of Allentown's neighborhood on the East Warrington Avenue side for over a decade. Anyone with information or has seen anything suspicious at the property is asked to alert the owners so they can report that to the police. In other news, a building at the Westmoreland Business and Research Park is damaged after a vehicle slammed into an outside wall yesterday afternoon. The crash was reported at the Washington Township property shortly after 4:30 p.m. A staff member at Pittsburgh Technologies tells authorities he was in the break room when he heard a loud boom and saw a wall crack. Washington Township police say a woman drove to the business and was waiting to pick up a relative when her foot slipped off of her vehicle's brake pedal onto the accelerator, causing the wreck. She was taken to AHN Forbes Hospital to be evaluated and no one else was hurt. No charges are expected, according to officials. Officials with the Ali Kiski Hope Center have the organization's Adopt a Family program running again this year. Individuals, groups, and businesses can be assigned a family to donate gifts to for this holiday season. Participants will get a list that includes clothing sizes and interests of the recipients. Gifts are then purchased, wrapped, and dropped off at the Ali Kiski Hope Center offices in Tarentum. Those interested in helping a family should call the center during regular business hours. I'm Juan Arango, and you're up to date with Radio PA.
As the gift-giving season gets closer and near, our quaint little shop is filled with gift-giving cheer. These shelves overflowing from floor to top tier. Stop, browse, and shop. You'll think Santa's been here. Gifts made for giving or something just for yourself. You pick it, we'll wrap it, like having your own personal elf. Strap, 34 South Street in downtown Uniontown. Holiday-themed jewelry, fun fashion turquoise, handbags, boots, accessories, candles, gifts, and lots more. All wrapped up in a nice shopping environment. Very modest pricing, unique selections, friendly customer service, and fun hospitality. Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 5 and Saturdays from 10 to 3. Our 4th annual Boots, Bags, and Bling Holiday Shopping Open House is on Saturday, December 6th from 11 to 5. Refreshments, door prizes, a fun-filled event, and everyone is welcome. Strap, 34 South Street in downtown Uniontown, 724-557-6184. Shop small, shop local, shop tangible, shop Strap.
Watch The Catholic Accent this Sunday morning at 11:30 on WPXI. As we begin the season of Advent and prepare our hearts for the light of the world, learn why we celebrate this season as we move toward Christmas, and how your family can participate in this season of hope. Discover what we know about Mary, the Mother of Christ, her role in the Nativity, her travels across the diocese, and how she continues to care for those in need during this season of hope. Tune into The Catholic Accent this Sunday morning at 11:30 on WPXI.
It's a new day at WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital, and we're bringing a new level of quality healthcare to our community. From primary care to specialty services, our team has always put patients first. And now, thanks to our merger with WVU Medicine, our commitment to patient-centered care has grown even stronger. With new resources, a growing staff, and advanced technology, our team is here to provide you with top-quality care when it matters most. Discover the new Uniontown Hospital and see how we've grown.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Now, you don't have to travel too far for medical marijuana products. Go to Local Leaf in Scottdale for a wide variety of locally grown and locally sourced products, plus your questions answered on medical marijuana, qualifying medical conditions, or how to register for your medical card. Local Leaf by PHG off Route 119 in Scottdale, 412-417-4964. Online at localleafpa.com. Local Leaf, your medical marijuana dispensary with locally grown and locally sourced products in Scottdale.
great Tom Petty bringing us out of I guess we can call him the great. Is he great? Was he legendary?
Loved him.
Legendary. But he
To
was
me,
great.
it was.
Jennifer Kuiper coming up with the CBS News Brief in just a few seconds here, talking about the Pentagon watchdog finds Defense Secretary endangered military personnel. Also, President Trump continues his verbal attacks on the Somali community, and Trump rolls back Biden-era fuel economy standards, something I lobbied against.
CBS News Brief. The Pentagon Inspector General says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth jeopardized sensitive military information when he shared certain details about U.S. military operations in Yemen in a private Signal group chat. CBS's Eleanor Watson.
What this IG found is that the details in those messages at the very least risked endangering troops.
President Trump again slams Somalis as his administration begins an immigration operation in Minneapolis, and he takes aim at Democratic Governor Tim Walz as the Treasury Department investigates whether Minnesota welfare money went to a Somali terror group.
They have destroyed Minnesota, okay? Minnesota, you have an incompetent governor. You have a crooked governor. He's crooked as hell, but he's incompetent. Walz he should be ashamed.
Trump rolls back Biden-era fuel economy standards. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
What exactly this means down the line for you if you're looking for a new car in a few years remains to be seen, but the theory is it drives down the cost.
CBS News Brief, I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
Coming up in a few moments, we're going to check in with Jonathan Delano. John Delano, actually, is what we usually call him. He is now the retired KDKA TV. What was it? Oh, Money and Politics Center. That was his title.
Important topics he covered for a living.
Yeah,
Money and politics doesn't get more important than that.
And he was chief of staff to a congressman named Doug Walgren back in the day, who lost his seat to an up-and-comer nobody thought had a chance, named Rick Santorum.
Yeah.
He was the one that beat. Walgren had won his 3 previous re-elections before Santorum beat him. Each of his candidates, one candidate spent $4,000, another one spent $600,000, another one spent $40,000, and all those Republican opponents got 37% of the vote.
Wow. Amazing.
Along came Rick Santorum, and boom, grabbed that seat, which people didn't think Doug Walgren would have until he wanted to retire. And, of course, Santorum served a couple of terms in the U.S. House of Representatives and then ended up running for U.S. Senate against Harris Wofford, who replaced John Hines when John Hines was tragically killed in April of 1991, and then Santorum beat him, served for 2 terms. Usually when you got 2 terms in the Senate, if you're going to lose elections, it's going to be close. He got clobbered when he ran for his 3rd term against Bob Casey Jr. So coming up here in just a couple of moments, we're going to check in, as I mentioned, with John Delano. As we continue our 2025 year in review, we'll be talking politics with him. And earlier we talked to Finn Gomez, politics on the federal level. We're going to talk politics on the local and statewide levels as well. As we continue these conversations, we hope to have all 3 Fayette County commissioners on during December. It's a busy time for those guys, a lot of events. So we're going to do our very best to get them on. They will certainly be invited. And they always seem to come through and are on the air with us. Although we haven't interviewed yet the newest county commissioner, Commissioner Dutch, as they call him. We'll be talking to him. We hope to talk to him sometime in December as well as we continue our conversations, our year in review discussions. And if you have suggestions, feel free to give us a call of what topic we should cover. Send me an email at radiosaltzman@gmail.com. Radio Saltzman, SALTZMAN. Salt Z-Man. Radio Saltzman@gmail.com. Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line. I'm sure he's happy to hear this first term or first word in his title. Retired KDKA TV Money and Politics editor John Delano. I hope you're enjoying your retirement. Although knowing you, John, I think you're probably still pretty busy.
Well, Doug, it's great to be with you and with all your listeners. Thanks for having me. It's funny, I was with someone today who said there's really a bit of a difference between someone who's retired and someone who's very retired. And I said, I'm not very retired yet.
Yeah, my dad was the same way. My dad worked in a mill for 30 years, which is like 45 years at a job sitting at a desk. Mill jobs are tough. But he said he knew too many guys over the years who were dead within a year of retirement because they were just not ready to shut everything down. And my dad said, you have to stay busy. My dad volunteered constantly. 3 different churches he volunteered at. And
well, it's funny that your dad would have the same thought. I was speaking with Governor Ed Rendell, former Governor Ed Rendell, before I retired, shortly before I retired, and telling him that I was going to retire. And of course, Rendell, who I think even now still does stuff. He's up there in age a bit, but he still does things. He says, "Don't do it, John." I can't get that Philly twang.
That's
but
pretty
don't
good,
do
though.
it,
That sounds
John.
yeah.
He says, "You retire, then expire."
We've had him on the show several times over the years, and he's been battling Parkinson's, but battling it darn good, let me tell you.
Yeah, every time I haven't talked to him in recent months, but every time I have talked to him, he's as sharp as ever. And of course, he loves to talk politics, and so do I.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I asked him one time when that crazy congressman who actually just recently got he's out of jail now because he was his sentence was commuted by the president. Now I can't think of his name, from Long Island, New York, the one that went to jail.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of his name. And I had Rendell on, Governor Rendell, and I asked him. I said, "Did the Republicans blow it here, picking this guy as a candidate? Didn't they do any vetting?" He said, "The heck with Republicans. The Democrats were the ones that screwed up there. Didn't they do any background research on this guy? How could they let him win this seat?" But yeah, he's always very blunt with his comments. This is why we like having him on.
Well, there's no question about that, and he likes to talk. Excuse me.
Yeah,
he likes to talk. So
at
what
one
can
time,
I say?
I was at some dinner he was at, and we were joking. Of course, he's a Democrat, and I forget what the dinner was. Was it some Jewish leader's dinner in Pittsburgh, and he talked about a tax increase he was pushing as governor, and he said, this is not going to be all that much money. This might be like a BLT a day. And after he said that, he said, well, maybe I shouldn't use that example with this group. Of course, talking about a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich to a Jewish group, and he being Jewish himself. Of course, that got
I was going to say,
yeah, that got a huge laugh in the room. After he said that, and I don't think it was a line in the speech because he was not the type of person to read a speech. When I see so many politicians holding news conferences where they're standing at a podium reading their remarks, and I think back of the days of Arlen Specter, never in his life read from a speech. Because I guess in politics, if you're stuck reading from a speech, you always have to read from a speech because you just don't learn to speak off the cuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and the best politicians, frankly, can ad lib, can crack jokes, can take something and turn it into, turn what might be too serious into something light, or something light into something serious. And we've both of us have seen that many a time over the years. By the way, the congressman I think you're talking about is George Santos.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't think of his
thinking
name.
of?
Thank you.
Yeah, he was quite the piece of work.
Honest to heavens, it's like didn't anybody check into him at all? It wasn't lies that were hard to find out. He said he went to a college somewhere. He didn't go to college there. He worked from some huge firm in New York. He never worked there.
Right.
So these weren't
exactly.
difficult things. You talk about being able to handle things and to speak off the cuff. Recently, John Fetterman had an accident where he fell and he got several stitches in his face. So he immediately put his face out there on social media saying, I'm uglier now than I even was before, and I was pretty ugly to start with. So when you can laugh at yourself, when I heard that, I immediately thought of Arlen Specter, who was at the dinner one night in Philadelphia and fell, tripped, and landed on his face and held a news conference 2 days later in Pittsburgh with, of all people, Ed Rendell. And his Arlen joked that he said, give you some idea how big my nose is. That's the first thing that hit the ground when I fell, even before I could get my hands out. And he looked like, he'd been in a 5-round boxing match. But he immediately went out in public and didn't try to hide it, just like Fetterman did. Because that's when the rumors start, I suppose. That something could be worse than it is if you hide yourself. But let's talk about 2025 politics here.
Sure.
Local, regional, statewide politics. I've used this term over and over, which I've barred. It's not original by any means, but in politics, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. And this year, the Republicans were definitely the bug. It did not go well in November for Republicans, certainly not in Pennsylvania. A clean sweep for the Democrats.
Yeah, that's true. And let's start locally, though, because I think the big news locally for this region was the defeat of Mayor Ed Gainey. and the election of Corey O'Connor as the next mayor of Pittsburgh. He'll, of course, will take office first week of January. But I mean, that's a major change, frankly, in the type of governance for the city of Pittsburgh. And we're going to see, we've already seen through some of the appointments, some of the changes that are likely to happen. And even though maybe most of your listeners are not in Pittsburgh or care about the city, the fact is that the success of the city really dictates, in many ways, the success of the region. And I think there was a feeling on the part of at least voters in Pittsburgh that things had come to a bit of a stalemate and were not improving the way they ought to be. And Democratic voters voted for Corey O'Connor and ultimately gave him a landslide victory in the November election. I mean, it was incredible to win with 85% of the vote for anything.
Even considering the city of Pittsburgh is about 5-1 Democratic registration, it usually doesn't hit that number. But in this case,
he was getting Republican votes. He was
absolutely.
getting independent votes. Corey O'Connor was just winning every conceivable vote imaginable. Now, I think there's a lot of very high expectations on him, and we'll see whether he can deliver in 2026. So you and I at the end of next year can talk about that. But I do think that was a seminal development here in the Pittsburgh region, just as it would have been had Mayor Gainey been reelected, which did not happen, of course. So we'll see. We'll see whether the change that O'Connor promises, both with respect to development, public safety, and the like, and frankly the reputation of the city, because part of his argument was that Ed Gainey was not promoting the city of Pittsburgh like he's going to promote the city of Pittsburgh. So we shall see. But I do think locally that was the big story.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's no doubt that in Pennsylvania, the yes vote for Supreme Court Justice, who would have thought that would be a multi-million-dollar campaign effort in Pennsylvania? A judge on the state Supreme Court? I mean, we don't think of that as one of those hot-button political issues, but it really turned out to be. And across Pennsylvania, the forces for yes really turned out in a way that some suggest might have impact next year. But when you end up all three justices winning with 60, 61, 62% of the vote, that's pretty phenomenal given how many millions of dollars were spent against them.
And there was only one Supreme Court justice that was not retained, had absolutely nothing to do with him, of course. It was back when the pay raise controversy hit, that in the middle of the night, the General Assembly voted themselves a pay raise.
That was 20 years ago.
Right.
That was a long time ago.
And that's when that happened, when he had nothing to do with anything he did. And this race, this year, those retention races, three Supreme Court justices, all three elected in the same year, which is unheard of. People probably didn't even realize there were two other statewide judgeships up for election: Superior Court, Commonwealth Court, and other retention races up on the lower statewide courts.
Right. Democrats swept the elections for Superior Court and Commonwealth Court, the second tier appellate courts in Pennsylvania, and this is despite the fact that the Democrats have been losing registration across the Commonwealth by the thousands. The Republicans are very, very close to being the plurality party in Pennsylvania. Now, they won't be majority party because, interestingly, what's happening is that we're getting more and more people registering independent or not affiliated with any political party. That number is now close to 1.3 million people. And they make the difference between Democrats winning and Republicans winning. But the bottom line is that the Democratic Party is not attracting new voters, and yet they were able to sweep the statewide elections, which means independents in particular, and maybe some Republicans, are voting Democrat.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, the pendulum never loses in politics. It swings back and forth. And last year, the Republicans, I think if there had been 4 more statewide races in Pennsylvania last year, the Republicans would have won all those. But a complete switch over this year, of course. All three statewide row offices, as they're often called, are now held by Republicans. And we'll see what happens in 2026. But, yeah, that pendulum goes back and forth, and this was a great example of it. And your comment is right on about the voter registration edge. During the Obama era, there were 1.1 million more registered Democrats in Pennsylvania than Republicans. They still have an edge, but it's about 26,000, which is basically a tie when we're talking about
I think by next November's elections, Republicans will outnumber Democrats in Pennsylvania. But does that mean they're going to win the contested congressional elections? We've got several of them in Pennsylvania. Who knows? Does that mean that the governor is going to go down to defeat? I think most people would think that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So these party registrations, and again, we come back to the fact that people are not as loyal to their parties as they might have been at one time. But I think more fundamentally is the fact that we've got a growing number of folks who are independent, who are just going to vote for the person they like, as opposed to a political party.
Yeah. And
over 1 million people like that in Pennsylvania, 1.3 million.
The new thing in Pennsylvania is that you can't go in and pull one lever. Now, that doesn't happen anymore. There aren't levers in voting booths, but that's gone, where you can just simply vote one party by pushing one button or pulling one lever back in the day. That's gone. So if people want to vote for someone, they actually have to vote for that person. How much of an impact do you think that has had?
They have to mark their ballot, because we now, in most counties, they're doing the
we're not pushing buttons
paper
anymore.
ballot that
Right.
you then put into a machine.
But how much do you think that has impacted the fact that people are voting whom they want to vote for, regardless of their party registration, that you can't just vote single party like you used to?
Well, Doug, as you know, as part of the deal to allow no-fault mail-in balloting, that is allowing every Pennsylvanian to vote by mail if they choose to. Part of that deal was to eliminate the straight party ticket option on the ballot. And so you can no longer go in and vote straight party. It used to be that you could just go in and pull one lever on the machine, and the all the people in your party got your vote. Now you have to go individual by individual by individual, ballot by ballot, candidate by candidate. And that forces people really to make some judgments. Now, they might still vote for only the Democrats or only the Republicans. There are plenty of people who do just that. But at least you have to look at their names, and you have to think for a second or two if that's what you want to do. And I do think that that's made a difference, a big difference.
Yeah. And of course, the governor's race is next year, and we're talking about 2025, but it seems to be set already, next year's governor's race. Very different for the Republicans, whereas last time around, there were 13 candidates. I think I remember that on the ballot, running in the primary for governor, not last year, the last gubernatorial election.
4 years ago.
Yeah, and what was interesting, a guest we've had on the show several times, Chris Nicholas, put together a debate at a college, and they were having trouble finding matching podiums because there were so many candidates on that stage. Literally, he said it was difficult. And
I can believe it.
This time around, I don't see that happening.
I mean, we're still waiting to hear. I don't think Doug Mastriano, State Senator Mastriano, has said for sure that he's not running.
No, he is not. You're right. He has not yet said that.
So he's hinted that he might run. He's never been a favorite of the party organization, but the party organization has already endorsed Stacey Garrity, our state treasurer, and she's I would not underestimate Stacey Garrity. I know her pretty well. I've been impressed with her. She goes everywhere.
Oh,
she's one. She there is an event she doesn't show up at,
and she's been on this radio show at least 15 times since she's been treasurer. So she does not shy away from media. It's very interesting. You mentioned that about her. She is just everywhere. And basically she has two jobs now. She's state treasurer and she's candidate for governor already, long before most of these things get decided. And she was endorsed even before this November's election, for heaven's sakes.
Well, I think the Republicans are trying very hard to unify. And even if they can't defeat Shapiro, they want him to spend all his money
Right.
And soften him up so he cannot run, or make it tougher for him to run for president in 28.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to talk about that yet. Obviously, his focus, the governor's focus, is really on re-election as governor, not on president. But everybody suspects what's likely to happen in 2028. We'll see.
Yeah, very interesting, too. I have not seen this sort of in-party fighting at that highest level for a while now between Senator John Fetterman and the governor. Clearly don't like each other, don't speak to each other. John Fetterman, in his new book, clearly talks about that, and it was pretty clear that the Harris campaign took his word that Shapiro wasn't a good choice to be a running mate. I don't remember that happening between statewide office holders disliking each other so much, since perhaps Barbara Hafer got mad she didn't get the nomination and she switched parties, and it doesn't happen a whole lot at that highest level, does it?
No, and it's interesting you should mention this. I just heard the other day from a very reliable source, as we say in the news biz, that the governor talks a lot to Senator McCormick, Dave McCormick.
Right.
The Republican, as opposed to Senator John Fetterman, his fellow Democrat. So
McCormick's been very interesting. Has no problem reaching out. Had that enormous summit earlier this year, in which he had no problem inviting Fetterman to it and Governor Shapiro to it and other Democrats to it. Could there be any two different types of U.S. senators than Fetterman and McCormick?
But who claim that they get along very well.
Yeah, I think
and I guess they might. I think the question from McCormick. Well, first of all, I don't think he's very well known yet. I don't think he's established his own identity or persona in Pennsylvania. And having worked with our own inspector who was in for 30 plus years, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it takes time to develop that. And I think a lot of people see McCormick as just a Trumpite. I don't think there's been any, as far as I can recall, no real public disagreement with President Trump on much of anything, although I just think I heard recently that McCormick is open to extending the tax credits on the Obamacare.
Right, he just announced that in a
I think he just announced that, but Trump hasn't taken a position really forcefully against that. In fact, has sort of suggested, we might let that continue. But for the most part, I don't think people see Senator McCormick in any kind of adversarial role with the president or anybody else for that matter.
No,
and,
he just
just a kind of a nice guy who's there.
Yeah, and he kind of does his job. Isn't doing it for the money, clearly. And neither U.S. senators in Pennsylvania are. They both.
They don't.
McCormick has enormous wealth, and Fetterman doesn't need the job either. So, it's very unique. And considering the fact that at this point, poll after poll after poll has shown that Fetterman now has higher support among Republicans than he does of Democrats in Pennsylvania, which clearly has indicated that he'll have a primary opponent. But again, it's not till 2028. It's not.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not even next year.
It's a ways away. I think, obviously, this year politically, aside from the success of the Democrats statewide and of course, the election here in western Pennsylvania, southwestern Pennsylvania, with Corey O'Connor as the next mayor, most of the focus now is on what's going to happen in 26. And right now we hear of candidates lining up to run for different offices, and the question of whether or not out in our neck of the woods, is Guy Reschenthaler vulnerable? Is Mike Kelly vulnerable? These are the two Republicans who represent western Pennsylvania, and particularly out of Pittsburgh. Mike Kelly from Butler, Guy Reschenthaler from Peters in Washington County. So there are candidates beginning to come forth on the Democratic side, and we'll see whether how far this goes, because those are districts not unlike, particularly the 14th, which is the district you live in, down there in the Uniontown area, Doug. That district is overwhelmingly Trump country.
Yeah,
But we just saw what happened in Tennessee.
Right. Yeah, it was a close
where a 22-point Trump edge diminishes to a 9-point win for the Republican congressman.
Right.
So that happened in Westmoreland County and Fayette County and Greene County and Washington County, Somerset County. I believe those are the counties that make up the 14th. Maybe there's a shot at defeating a Republican incumbent.
Yeah,
and the same is true with Mike Kelly he represents from Butler County, Cranberry, all the way up to Erie.
It's over the years, it's always been sort of an Erie County-centered seat, if that makes sense, and it hasn't been for a while. When you think about the district that Ressenthaler was originally elected to, basically Tim Murphy's old seat has completely changed. And when you think of areas like, we always talk about the late Bill Lincoln, back in the days of him being a senator from here, probably back when you couldn't find a Republican, if you search for it in Fayette County. Now it's completely switched over in a matter of 20 years. Very interesting stuff. John, we appreciate your joining us. We wish you had more time, but we're coming up on a hard break before the news.
Well, it's always good to talk to you, Doug, and to your listeners, and hope everybody has a great evening.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, thank you. John Delano joining us on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line. Our 2025 Politics Year in Review discussions continue. We'll continue more of those next week. Right now, let's take a break before we wrap up the hour.
When you are looking to make some extra cash for your aluminum cans, visit Cherokee Recycling, where aluminum can is king. Cherokee Recycling is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4:30, and Saturdays, 8 to 12 noon, closed Sundays and holidays. Give Marcus or Braggs a call today, 724-439-3228, for Cherokee Recycling, where recycling makes the most sense.
439-2323. For 24-hour emergency service, call us when you need. We're Fayette's Heating and Air Conditioning, your service company.
Be prepared for bone-chilling winter weather. Have Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning install a Bryant high-efficiency furnace in your home to replace that old worn-out system you now have. Choose Bryant's Plus 90 gas furnace or other quality heating system to keep yourself and your family warm and toasty this winter. Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning will also keep your present furnace running at peak efficiency with their 15-point safety check and cleaning. Call Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning today for your appointment. 724-439-2323. That's Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, your Bryant dealer, Route 119 north of Uniontown, located near Laurel Mall.
Call Fayette Heating and Air Conditioning, 439-2323, 439-2323, 439-2323, 439-2323.
Hello, Uniontown and Fayette County. This is attorney Erica Dowd of Quattrini Law Group. Are you a veteran suffering from a service-related disability or disease? Not all injuries are obvious or happen quickly. We've helped hundreds of veterans with conditions like PTSD, neuropathy, heart conditions, and cancers get the benefits they deserve, even when their conditions didn't start until many years after service. VA benefits can be paid for any condition that could have been caused or worsened by your service, from Agent Orange exposure, Camp Lejeune water exposure, burn pits, or physical injuries in the service. If you were disabled from your military service, we can help you. The consultation is free and no obligation. Call us today at 1-888-534-6016 or Google Quattrini Law Group. Again, this is attorney Erica Dowd from Quattrini Law Group, reaching out to veterans like you.
The holidays are here, and so are all the cookies and big family dinners. I don't want to lose the progress I've made this year.
I get it. That's why I went to Montgomery Medical in Smithfield. They've got GLP-1 weight management support to help you stay on track, even through the holidays.
Really? I didn't know they did that.
Oh, yeah. Plus, they handle walk-in acute care, family primary care, and all kinds of wellness services. They're like your one-stop medical home.
Sounds perfect. I'm calling Montgomery Medical. Time to make this my healthiest holiday yet.
Montgomery Medical in Smithfield. Family tradition of family medicine.
And that's a wrap for the Afternoon Drive Show for a Wednesday. I'll be back with you next week as we continue our conversations about 2025, the year in review. News is next.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. An Inspector General's report indicates that Defense Secretary